Warning, this game contains content that might not be suitable for most audiences. Viewers' discretion is advised. In the modern era of superheroes and supervillains, I was just a regular villain. And I say it was very intentionally here. My days of crime are officially over. I didn't go out in large daring stunt or an insane wealth like most may assume that a villain would. Most may assume that villains finally retire when nature makes an end of our perpetual greed and selfishness, eventually spiraling into self-sabotage, becoming our own undoing. But that was not me. I had loans to pay off, medications to afford, and a family to support. I was not looking for a beautiful life full of luxury or Gatsby-level grandeur. I only wanted to survive. And sometimes we can only survive in the best way we know how. For me, that was stealing from others. I didn't take from the average Joe. My targets were specifically 7 figures and above. Well, sometimes I would stoop, but they always deserved it. Now it's over. I went out nameless. As long as you know what to take, what they can afford to lose, they will never search you out. Yeah, I'm not proud of what I've done. Okay, that's a lie. I'm a little proud. But not many knew of me. I was never infamous enough to attract the attention of the heroes. But the underground crime world sure knew me. They referred to me as... what did they call me in the criminal underworld? Oh! Maybe I shouldn't go with Lion this time. Silly Juice! Silly Juice! Frick. In infamy, I even gained a small fan following of fellow criminals. But that doesn't change the fact that those days are over for me. My loans are paid off, my family has a proper safety net, and I could afford my medication, for a while at least. It was means to an end. And now, the present day me. Hey yo, newbie! Pass me some napkins. Some old fart dropped his coffee. Yeah, I groaned. Look at the clock. Only 9 a.m. I sigh heavily, my coworker's voice grating to my ears. I pass my 9 a.m. annoyance some napkins. If you sigh like that, you'll only bring yourself bad luck, newbie. Yeah, I'm gonna need more napkins than this. Graham spilled like his whole coffee. Whole bean coffee. I glance and glare at my coworker, Miles. I'm about to ask if he's high at 9 in the morning when he cuts me off. Hey, by the way, what's your name again? If I ask Hells, they'll explode at me. He laughs sheepishly, scratching his head. My name? It's Lion. My name is Lion. We have been working here together for over a month, Miles. You're right, Lion. Don't be mad. I promise. I'll remember next time. Miles walks towards the spill with an incredible amount of napkins in hand. Miles, you do know we have a cleaning supply closet, right? If you just wipe it up with napkins, it's gonna be sticky. Sheesh, newbie. I don't tell you how to live your life. I know that I'm new here, but at the same time, like, spilled coffee it's gonna stain, and it's not gonna be a pretty stain. I shoot a glare at Miles. Please, stop calling me newbie. Yeah, okay. I get it. Sure. My legs are like super sore from the stock this morning, though. Do you mind cleaning it up and I'll man the register? Hell said you weren't allowed on the register anymore. You have to charge a customer $20 extra. That was only one for the 3rd time in one day, Miles. Just be chill. Hells only takes a side because what, Miles? Haley's tall, unimpressed stare gazes at Miles. Ah! Haley, how are you so quiet? Miles. Yeah? Go clean up the mess. Haley hands Miles a mop and bucket. Miles hangs his head, walking towards the spill while dragging the mop and bucket behind him. Yeah. Miles grumbles, stalking back to the spill. Haley sighs deeply, leaning on the counter next to me. They grab a slightly burned croissant from the discard pile and pick at it. I swear, I've never seen Miles do things the right way, even if only 1% more effort is required. Haley's stare lingers on Miles' sneakers. Damn, if those lay-ins aren't cool though. And look at the flashy black and green shoes Miles is sporting. I can't resist a good sneaker, even if it's being sported on the least deserving person possible. Aren't those things like A couple hundred at least. Yep. Haley sighs. Maybe I should just steal them when he takes his afternoon nap in the storage room. How about it? Want to be my partner in crime? Yeah, I don't think I'm quite cut out for a life of villainy. Sorry to disappoint, Hal. Haley drops a casual pat on my shoulder. Nah, don't worry about it, Lion. Just keep being a kick-ass barista and we're cool. Haley and I sat in the ambiance of the cafe. I wipe down the countertops as Haley picks at a scone. The position in which Haley was standing gave them direct line of sight onto Miles' activities. Miles' current demeanor of hard-working cafe employee indicated that he felt their hawk-like stare. I sigh again, glancing upward at the clock. Don't get too impatient. You still have a full 5 left to go. Feels like forever. Huh? Maybe you should pick up a more exciting job then. More exciting than minimum wage cafe employee? Can't even imagine. This is all the excitement I want to handle. Hey ha, hey ha ha, hey ha, hey ha ha. More exciting than a minimum wage employee? I can't even imagine. Hal cracks a smile, tossing their napkins at me playfully. I snatch it out of the air. You're such a little poo, you know that? Wow, Hal. Language. I think in the onboarding videos they refer to this as a toxic workplace environment. To be fair, any place that has Miles and I working together is technically a toxic workplace environment. Well, as the middleman, I would like to formally request popcorn as an official mainstay break room snack. Maybe if you don't charge a customer $20 extra multiple times a day, they'll see what I can do. Excuse me, yeah, I've never done that. Sorry, my standards were beaten low by previous experiences, previous people. Yeah, I've been hurt before. Well, you can trust in me. Yeah, I'll serve my time well as a proper middleman. If you and Miles end up legitimately brawling and destroy the place, then I probably will have to find a new job. Yeah, it won't get to that. Even if it did, I could totally kick Miles' butt in 2 minutes flat. And 2 minutes isn't a ton of time to do a whole lot of damage here. My eyes narrow. In all seriousness, I prefer not to find a new job. Say you had to, though. What would you choose? Yeah, I'm not sure. What do you think I'd be good at? Well, you are really good at wrangling Miles and myself, so maybe... like a superhero? Really, you think that I would do well as a superhero? Heck, probably a supervillain, not so sure about a hero. Haley was more monotonous than ever, but I could tell it was an obvious joke. Yeah, I really looked the type, huh? I drawl out sarcastically. Maybe your superhero name could be like the Pessimist or something. I laugh. A small twinkle shines behind Haley's eyes. Oh yeah? And what will I do? Bum the villains out so much they decide to go home? I mock a superhero pose. You there! Disgusting, vile villain! Don't you have any idea about the money you're stealing? Inflation is on the rise. The money will be worth next to nothing in 2 years. Haley covers their face and turns their back. They attempted to regain composure, but I felt a little disappointed I wasn't able to see their expression. Wow, you could totally go for it. You're even bumming me out. I smile wide and laugh a bit at the ridiculousness of it. That's what I like about you, Lion. You feel like the only other person that truly couldn't give a poo about the heroes. Even villains tend to have a favorite hero. But you truly couldn't care less. Why is that? I shrug and mumble out some random reason. Taxpayer money and all that. Can I order? My head springs up at a customer on the other side of the counter. They rub their arm awkwardly. Frick, how long were they standing there? I wanted to die of embarrassment. My head whizzed over to Haley, but they already took advantage of the moment and trotted off to some other part of the cafe. My cheeks felt hot as I glanced up at the man. Hello, I'm sorry about that. I didn't see you there. No problem. I prefer it that way. Well, never mind. Let's just stop talking. He cringed at himself, looking up at the menu. Can I get a black coffee to go? Yeah, sure. Nothing else? He pauses for a second, as if he's trying to determine if it's a trick question. No, thank you. Okay, that'll be $3 flat. He hands over a $5 bill. Here's your change, sir. Keep it. He moves away before I can give him his receipt. Not very talkative. I put together a fresh black coffee in a to-go cup. He stands at the counter, ready to grab it. Right before I hand him the coffee over, I quickly pull it back towards myself. Yeah, almost forgot this. I slip a coffee sleeve onto the cup. Careful, it's hot. You don't want to burn your hands. Why does everything I say feel so awkward with this guy? He flashes a wry smile. Thanks, He glances down at my name tag. Lion? Have a good day. He takes the coffee from my hands. His fingertips brush over mine during the exchange, making me jump a bit. The man walks out the door, sipping his hot coffee. He glances at me while passing the glass window. When our eyes make contact, he shifts his glance away. I continue to work the register, bringing customers up and preparing drinks. When customers peter out later in the day, I pass the time by watching a TV with no sound hanging in the corner. A special about Hero Origins flashes across the screen. I mute the TV as binary stars red, blue, and white and yellow stand out amongst the TV news interview. A child from the stars, huh? I murmur to myself. As unbelievable as it was, Binary's red eyes were chillingly unhuman. To the general public, he glimmered like a starlight. But to the villains, his name was only uttered in whispers. The rest of the day passes pretty normally. Soon I'll finally be off the clock and can head home. Frick, it's night. No! I'm back in the building again! I am looking through some boxes under the counter for more sleeves. The morning shift is brutal. I probably shouldn't have stayed up so late, doom scrolling. Hey, thud. Yeah! I rubbed the back of my head where it hit the counter. Ducking my head out from under the counter, I see Haley standing there with their usual expression. Hal, you really have to make your presence more known. Haley shrugs. Do you mind bussing some tables? Sure, but where's Miles? Probably pretending to do work in a storage room while browsing auction sites for hero action figures. I start to laugh, assuming it's a joke, but Haley's unamused expression never shifted. Haley sighs, rubbing their temples. Sometimes I wonder if firing him would be easier. But it would make my life way more complicated if I did. Haley glances up at me quickly. It's tough to find anyone willing to work a normal job recently. All Miles talks about is how he's going to quit someday out and be a hero. Haley barks a humorless laugh. Yeah? The guy can barely tell a coarse grind from a fine grind. And don't even get me started about how many times he has... Yo, check out this Sidekick era Blaze figure I found. It's only at 8Ks and an hour left. 8,000 for an action figure? With spending habits like that, it's no wonder Miles is trying to always borrow money. As Haley starts in on a lecture, I quickly dip out. I hum to myself while gathering the left-behind plates, mugs, and cups off the tables and place them into the bus tab. Bump. Yeah! Yo, hey! The guy who suspiciously looks like the other hero, which you couldn't be him because you don't have red eyes and you're not in costume. I walked into someone, almost dropping the bus tab. The stranger's hand grasps the container from the other side, keeping it steady. Whoa, nice reflexes. I look up and see the same stranger from yesterday. I feel a bit frazzled, my face heating up, remembering the caught glances and graze of her fingertips. Oh my god, get it together, you whore! My eyes shoot up at his. I could swear he was laughing at me. Instead, he coolly shifts his gaze in another direction. He is a little attractive, though. You think so? Yeah! What? He smirks down at me. My reflexes. Yeah, right, yeah. My eyes go wide, noticing the customer's hand still holding the bus tub. Yeah, sorry. I place the bus tub down on a nearby table. The man stands there with a curious look on his face. I didn't get anything on you, did I? I flutter around him, making sure that no stains were on his shirt. He didn't move, staring down at me intensely. I verified that there weren't any spills on him and backed up a little. I think you're good. I look down and notice a coffee at his table. Black coffee again. You know we have other things too, right? I hope that didn't come off as judgmental. I like this. After a second of awkward silence, he continues. Well, I'm usually in a rush to get to work. So, black coffee is just the fastest to get. Ah, okay, I see. Well, if you ever want to try something new, I can make something else for you. Sounds tempting. I promise it'll be really good. You won't ever want to buy coffee anywhere else or your money back. Okay, gonna get that in writing. Cheeky dude. You don't seem to be in a rush today. Nah, work doesn't need me quite yet. What do you do for work? You're asking what I do for work when you don't even know my name yet? Yeah, I'm disappointed in you a lot. How do you know my name? How do you know? Oh, wait. Let me guess. Is the old trope of you have a name tag, right? Right? Let's see here. Let's see if we got the visual novel bingo. He gazes down at me. His intense dark eyes scan my form. They linger as they move across me slowly. I end up feeling frazzled all over again. Is he staring at my chest? I glance down, seeing my name. I knew it! I freaking knew it! Oh my god, you idiot lion! Ah, right. Perks of being an employee. Why did I just say that? Is me getting to know your name a perk of the job for you? The man smirks darkly, his eyes scanning my face. I'm flattered. Yeah, I'd have to pay extra for flattery, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure my face is as red as a tomato at this point. Yeah, that's all in the house. I gathered the bus tub in my arms a little too quickly, splashing a bit of water onto myself. Sorry, I gotta go. Work! Gotta do some work. As I turn around to escape, I could swear I heard a deep chuckle. When I returned from the back, the man was already gone. I wonder if he will come back tomorrow. Huh. Fascinating. Man, how many days has it been? How many day and night cycles are these? A week goes by, and the customer hasn't come back. Some part of me felt a little disappointed. Another part of me chastised myself for how ridiculous that is when I don't even know the man's name. Wait, what is his name? He's a stranger. He could be like murder or something. Or married. Why am I even thinking about this? It's so stupid. I groaned into my hands. Yeah, same. What? I dragged my head up to see Hal standing next to me. Yeah, I followed their line of vision and landed on the muted TV in the corner. Shown on the screen was the most notable superhero, Binary Star. There truly wasn't a household that hasn't heard of that name. Let's see what they're saying about this prick. Haley grabs the remote, turning up the sound. The hero that will shine against any darkness. How do you feel about the title, Mr. Binary Star? Well, gotta say, I'm flattered. But Steve, you're not wrong. The hero tilts his head, giving an animated wink to the interviewer. He then turns to the camera, pointing directly towards the audience. No villain can hide under the thick veil of darkness, not while I'm around. Against the dust of their crimes, the shining light will always prevail, bringing them to justice. He's kinda endearing, but holy frick is he cringe. The hero turns this point into a thumbs up. His smile so wide, it instinctively made me rub my own jaw. You are known to have numerous abilities, but not as iconic as the diamond melting eyes. It is said that you were born with this special talent, indicating from birth that you were an ability holder. Yes, that's right. When I first opened my eyes and they were red, it really gave the nurses a scare. Despite the shock, my dear mother never once faltered in loving me. God rest her soul. The interviewer extends his condolences. Yes, I grew older, my other abilities manifested, and now... Tell me about it, Haley. Haley turns on TV. Although I find him cringe, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna try to seduce him. I'm still gonna try to seduce the hero. Y'all know this. You've been on this channel long enough, and some of you who haven't been on this channel long enough, welcome for the ride. Let's get back into it. God, I freaking hate that guy. I glanced towards Haley. It was odd to dislike the hero so much. Most people love heroes. And even if they aren't interested, they will at least feign interest in order to be liked by people around them. Heroes are seen as paragons of justice, so to openly dislike them is seen as odd at best, suspicious at worst. Why so much hate? Haley turns to me a bit shocked. What? I thought you didn't like him either. Yeah, I don't. I'm just surprised you're so passionate about hating him. Haley rolls their eyes. It's just all so fake, honestly. All this showboating, bull poopery, just for heroes to go out and mercilessly slaughter anyone they deem as villains. You know, she's got a point there. And honestly, like, even if they don't kill the villains, like, think about hospital bills that's been racking up for all these villains. Like, think about all the injuries that these villains have to sustain. And some of them aren't even villains. Some of them are just guys in, like, really terrible circumstances, and they've got no choice. The frick? It's honestly disgusting. Does anyone even remember when we tried to reform criminals? Now they just get slaughtered because that is easier than reformation. I did not expect to have a philosophical discussion about the ethics of superheroes in a superhero dating sim. Is this a dating sim? I'm not even sure. And the only group that seems to care even a goddamn smidgen is the freaking prison industry. Because, oh, God forbid they lose out on 25 cents an hour labor. Like, is this world going crazy, or is it just me? I noticed some of the customers are glancing over at Haley as their voice continues to get louder alongside their building passion. I agree with Haley to an extent. I agree with her wholeheartedly, honestly saying, heroes do have too much power. But the idea that they go around slaughtering villains, they must be getting these ideas from some borderline extremists, or at least villain sympathetic internet forum or something. It's common knowledge, after all. Heroes don't kill. Calm Haley down so the customers don't hear. Let Haley speak their truth. Hey, yeah, I want to hear her out. I lean back on the counter, watching Haley as he continued to rant. What world do we live in where murderers get praise and have freaking TV shows and interviews? I swear to God, all these heroes are just full-on psychopaths. They can do whatever they want, and literally nobody will stop them. Nobody! What kind of screwed up, his-word definition of justice is that? And what do we do? We make edited montages of them. Commercial goods. Paste their goddamn faces on every surface imaginable. Frick. It pisses me off. Haley, unable to contain their anger any longer, storms off. Despite their stormy disposition, their angry heeled steps are almost silent. Truly the definition of light-footed. I sigh, turning back to the TV. It's getting later on in the day, so customers are petering out. And I'll be damned if I don't have some form of entertainment for my last working hour. The hero's face lights up the screen as he saves women and children from imminent danger. Apparently, he has only been in the city for about 3 weeks, and people have already fallen in love with him. They even claim that he alone reduced villain and criminal attacks by 60% in the last month. Watching him do his thing on screen, the fall in villainy wasn't much of a surprise to me. It was almost impressive seeing him fly around, battling against monsters and villains. His red eyes glow, cutting down everything in their path. Apparently, he has trained many sidekicks to become successful heroes. I can't help but wonder how hectic his life is. The hero, after saving a child, smiles and waves at the camera. Citizens on clap and cheer for him in the background. Edited highlight shots of the hero plays. He gloriously flashes across the screen as terrified citizens scream for help, soon to be picked up and saved. Some part of me felt gross watching it. Imagine almost dying and immediately getting edited into a hero montage. That is honestly horrifying. Like, isn't that just re-traumatizing the victims? Like, yeah, like, it's great that they managed to live out of all of that, but at the same time, no one wants to live through the same experience all over again and being put, like blasted on TV as a prop for the people. God, that is just terrible. What kind of society is this? Ugh. Not a fan, huh? I almost jump out of my skin at the sound of the voice in front of me. I look up and see the customer from about a week ago. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I didn't see you there. Yeah, I noticed. He glances up at the screen. It's okay. I'd rather look at binary stars than myself too. I smile sheepishly. I don't really like him or anything. Why do I feel the need to specify that? I scrunch internally. Yeah, I kinda noticed that too. You did? Your facial expression kinda looked like you smelled soiled milk or something. My jaw hangs. I'm at a loss for words. But like 4 months old spoiled milk, not a week old spoiled milk. It was intense. I almost even felt hurt for the guy. Nobody wants to get that kind of look from a cute barista. Cute? The man smirks, quirky an eyebrow. Do you want me to repeat myself? Nah, it's okay. I feel like if I heard him say it again, my face would simply combust. I already know it's probably bright red. Well, this guy just stands there with the same smirk. What a dude. His smirk seemed to get wider. Why don't you like him? He motions his head towards the TV. Let's see. Soften the truth. Never had any interest in them. Be honest. I find them somewhat I'm going to be honest. I will be honest. I find them somewhat uncomfortable. I bite my lip, trying to decide how honest I want to be. To be honest, something about heroes kind of make me uncomfortable. How so? Something about them feels somewhat uncanny valley. Like a robot? Yeah, almost if Binary Star smiles any harder, his face will just crack and fall to pieces. Heroes are always saying what the public wants them to say too. Like, they know exactly what to say. And I think most of them probably have PR writers. After all of that media grooming, the heroes don't even feel human anymore. I mean, I guess Binary Star isn't technically human, but you understand what I'm saying, right? The man grimaces but nods. The child from the stars, Binary Star, the poor dingus. Yeah, I bet you're right. If his face did smile any harder, it would just fall off. And underneath it would be an endless pit. You sound like you know Binary Star a bit more than you let on, fam. The man chuckles. Or something like that, right? Nah, I'm betting it's just a robot war machine underneath the human-looking face. The military getting in on the hero game with the latest tech, huh? I can't help but laugh. Yeah, they always want the fame and fortune after all. A momentary look of softness travels across the man's face. By the way, I should probably take your order. Considering you've been standing here for like 5 minutes. The man smiles. Don't worry about it. I think I enjoy our little interactions. I grab a medium-sized cup, the size he ordered the last 2 times he came here. Black coffee again? You remembered. I tried to remember our regulars' orders. I think with this being my 3rd time here, I hardly count as a regular. But I'll take the expedited honor anyway. Can I get your name for the order? In all honesty, I didn't really need his name. We tend to just call out the type of drink rather than the name of the customer. But maybe I want to be a little selfish for once. Can I try your special? I give a blank look. The one guarantee not to be found anywhere else or I get my money back. Yeah, of course. And if you don't like it, yeah, I'll make you something else. I thought you said I could get my money back. Am I about to be scammed? Fine, and your money back. He smirks as if he's already won. I'll make the best damn coffee he's ever had. Somehow I feel like you are challenging me. Go take a seat. I'll bring it to you when it's ready. You don't want me to pay? Yeah, I'll take your money after I rob you of your pride. He cracks a smile. Cheeky thing. The man saunters off to lean against the far wall. I feel his eyes follow me as I move back and forth while making the coffee. After a couple of minutes, it's finally done. I bring out the most beautiful mint latte I've ever made. The man looks down at it, slightly grimacing. It's kind of green. What? You don't know any other color than black? The man eyes it up suspiciously. If I die from this, oh my god, you're more likely to die from ingesting black coffee every day. Stir it a bit first and give it a try. You can almost start to take out your wallet if you want. Wow, the barista won't stir it for me. Service is really lacking here. I am not going to stir it for you, sir! The man chuckles a bit and stirs the drink. He brings it up to take a drink. He takes a good amount in at once, swallowing deeply. He pauses, look at me. The man places down the drink and takes out his wallet. So, what do I owe you? Yeah, I can't help but smile. You haven't even told me how good it is yet. It's good. That's it? Nothing else? Maybe the word you were thinking of was delicious, heavenly, maybe awe-inspiring? Don't push your luck, kid. I got my pride too. He smirks, rifling in his wallet for bills. Don't worry about the money. The satisfaction of your loss is payment enough. No, I lost fair and square. I have to pay up. No, seriously, my treat. He looks at me for what feels like a solid minute before putting his wallet away. If you say so. He looks at the drink, which is beautifully displayed in a glass mug. He then checks the time on his phone and grimaces. Before he can even open his mouth, I present a to-go cup and lid. I figure you won't be able to stick around for long. He seems a bit surprised as he takes the cup, his face eventually falling back into his usual expression. You didn't have to go all the way with the effort to... I swiftly cut him off. It tastes better when it's presented well. Is that so? Uh-huh. I nod enthusiastically. He pours the drink into the to-go cup, careful not to spill. Thanks a lot for this. He leans in close. My heart starts to beat faster. What is he doing? He pauses, snatching the permanent marker out of my apron pocket. I gape as he scribbles something on the to-go cup. He turns the cup towards me, the word Ray scrawled on the side. It's my name. Ah, cool. Nice to meet you, Ray. Nice to meet you too, Lion. Have a good day at work, if that's where you're going. It occurred to me that it was nearly 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Was he going back to work? Or maybe he was done for the day. But he never comes in at the same times for coffee. He must have a job with very odd hours. As I walk away, something catches on my shoes, causing me to stumble. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just falling for you, Ray. My God. Whoa! Ray reaches out with one hand and catches me swiftly by the waist before I completely faceplant. The catch pulled up his sleeve and his arm was marked with scars. Try not to space out too much when you walk. Ray pulls me up, back to my feet, and releases me gently. His arms were surprisingly strong, considering how sleep-deprived he always looks. I can't help to think about how surprisingly marked up his arms were. Cuts, holes, slices, both old and new. Maybe his job is some hard manual labor or something. Or a superhero! That would explain why he's so tired all the time. And he smelled nice too. I wonder what cologne he uses. I get back behind the counter and watch Ray as he gives me a short wait before leaving. Some part of me hoped he would be back tomorrow. I stick my hands in my apron pockets and sigh. My fingertips nudge a hard object in my pocket. Huh? I pull out the foreign object that was in my pocket. A small wad of money. I felt a harder object with them. I pull out part of a coffee sleeve scrawled with a small message in permanent marker. Thanks for the coffee. The extra is tip. R. There is a phone number scrawled at the bottom. I look at the bills. $50! Also, wait, when did he have time to do that? Wait, because, there's no way he had time to actually write all that. Unless, of course, he was planning to do this from the very start. Is he a binary star or is he some villain? What the frick? After carrying out the transaction, I stuffed the rest of the cash in a tip jar. Oh, another time skip. A couple more days passed without any appearance from Ray. Finally off to work. Despite my desperate desire to just go home, faceplant on the couch, and binge shows for the rest of the day, I should probably get some groceries. I can't live off of mac and cheese for the next 2 weeks after all. No, rather, I probably shouldn't. I do a bit of grocery shopping and grab some essentials for the next couple of days. But not too much I'm unable to carry all of them back to the apartment. Partway through the trip back home, my phone buzzes. I have the bag onto the other arm and check the call. Unknown caller. The sinking feeling in my stomach gave me an idea of who it could be. I take a breath and pick up the call. Silly Juice. I forgot that my name was Silly Juice. Yes? I could tell by the voice it was my old partner in crime, Double Vision. Double Vision, myself, and the rest of the night crew used to hit houses and make quite a bit of money. We would even lift cars on occasion. So I can't say we split on good terms. You moved. Yeah, away from you. You wound me, silly juice. We had a good thing. I could hear the thick malice in his voice. Don't be so cold, honey. Going to the lengths of running away while I was out of town. You wound me, truly. When you left, I did some things I'm not so proud of. But the honest truth is that I saw red. You remember Ripley, right? I swallowed hard, my hand shook, but I was unable to hang up. I can't guarantee that you'll be able to recognize him anymore. He lets out a cold, curt laugh. He then transitions into a soft, cooing voice. You should have told me you were upset, honey. You can't just leave me like that. You know what that does to a guy. I get so worked up over you. I know I shouldn't. But I keep thinking about you, and I don't think I can just let you go. So I'm asking nicely. Please, come back. I'll buy you the same flat, the same car, everything. And we can pretend your silly little lapse in judgment never even happened. Come back to the crew. To me. I gather any courage I can, breathing in a shaky breath. I can't do that, Double. Go screw yourself, Double. I can't do that, Double. You know, I can't do that, Double. Then don't let me find you, honey. Because when I do... A heavy silence blankets the call like mist. I could hear my own heartbeat echo through my ears. Double finally talks in a slow and serious whisper. I'll freaking kill you. He hangs up and the line beeps. I collapse to the ground, my legs not quite feeling up to the task of standing. Double Vision and I used to be close. Closer than I'd like to admit, honestly. For a while it was peaceful, even fun. Then slowly, things started to change. Every time I gave an inch, he started to take 2 inches. Then he would take a foot. Eventually, he wasn't even satisfied with a mile. That was the type of guy Double was. For a while, I wondered if he started to change. Or if this was him all along, prowling under the cracking mask. But at some point, the egg or the chicken hardly mattered. Being around him started to become terrifying. Compliments turned into obsessions. Warnings turned into threats. Once I had enough money, enough of a safety net, I had to get out. Maybe Double, in some way, kept me from becoming too greedy. Kept me from becoming too used to the lucrative villain lifestyle. When I asked to leave, he said no. When the soft-spoken Marsh stood up for me, telling Double to just let me go. Double beat Marsh's face into a lump of recognizable flesh. From that point, it guaranteed Double into godhood for the more violent members of the crew. The non-violent members became too fearful to ever speak up against Double again. And so I left the crew, alone. I fled into the darkness of the night, taking my family with me. I moved my family into a different town, with different names, far, far away. And as for myself, I became anonymous in a different country, a different city. Far enough away from my family so they would live in peace without me. So the question is, has he already found me? After all, Double always enjoyed playing with his food. My legs shook. I felt nauseated with the thought. I desperately scanned the area. I didn't see or feel anything off. Locals walked along casually, carrying out with their lives. I quickly gather up my bags. In my haste, my phone falls out of my hand. It tumbles to a stop against the shoes of a stranger. They pick it up and hold it out towards me. Ray? Here. He hands me my phone. You look like you've seen better days, Lion. Is everything alright? I get up from the ground, setting the groceries onto the ground to straighten out my clothes. I have to get it together. Probably look crazy right now. I mentally chastise myself, looking up at Ray's concerned eyes. I force a grin and pray it is convincing. Yeah, I was just taking a break. Ray raises an eyebrow. I motion towards the groceries. I think I purchased too much. They're pretty heavy. I lie through my teeth. So you took a break in the middle of the street. I laugh awkwardly, unable to find a good excuse. Are you heading in this direction? He points to where I was facing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going that way too. Need some help? Before I can say no, he picks up my grocery bag. A grocery bag that was incredibly light. Ray pauses, turning to look at me. He gives me a look of suspicion and confusion. He opens his mouth as if he was about to say something. He then seemingly decides against it. He then suddenly picks up the other grocery bag too. I stare embarrassed, unsure of what to do. Luckily for me, Ray reads the room and decides not to press me further. Yeah, we going, or do you want me to carry you too? I hurry to catch up with his tired strides. These bags are pretty light. Do you have any food of substance in here? I don't want to hear about dietary habits from a guy who regularly consumes black coffee in the middle of the day. I recently took up mint lattes, thank you very much. Oh yeah? What made you decide to do that? When a cube barista asks you to try something, you can hardly say no. Someone like me has a weakness too, you know? Someone like you. How far do you live from here? Not too far. Are you already getting tired? Ray looks down at me with a wry smile. Not in your life, barista. I have a name, you know. Lion. I honestly didn't expect you to remember my name. Ray is about to say something when his phone buzzes. He pauses to look at it and cancels the call, stuffing his phone back into his pocket. After only a couple of moments, his phone begins to buzz again, and he once again cancels it. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've got some needy juniors at work. Hopefully, they will get the hint and leave me alone. As we stroll, Ray and I chat about a variety of topics. I discover that he likes cats, but due to his work, he is unable to own one. He also recently took up coffee a few months ago. Before then, he never even drank it. Soon enough, we made it to the front door of my apartment building. Buzz. His phone vibrates again, and he fumbles to reject the call. Sorry. He mumbles. Work forced me to use the phone that has the silent feature blocked. That sounds like an unhealthy work environment. Ray gives a chuckle that sounded more tired than humorous. Yeah, I suppose so. Unfortunately, I'm somewhat grandfathered into the position. You can't just quit? Not really. That sounds illegal. Ray just grimaces. He doesn't seem very chatty about work. He must be in a stressful career. Well, either way, this is me. I motion up to the apartment building. I'm inviting him in! Wait a minute, where's this gonna go? If you have the time, do you want to come up for some tea? Yeah, as a thank you for the help, of course. My heart was beating, and I was sure that my face was getting increasingly red. I genuinely didn't mean the invitation within any unholy intention. Are you sure about that? Because I would! But it was still an awkward question to ask because of the implication. Ray looks genuinely surprised, almost dropping his phone. Yeah, of course. I'd love to. Buzz. Ray's phone begins to buzz again. Ray looks visibly annoyed by the buzzing of his phone. Let me just take this real quick. He puts the phone up to his ear. Yeah? Absolutely not. No, it's my day off. What? Do you have no one else? Am I really your only... He shoots a quick side glance at me. Option or something? I, in fact, do have a life. Is it so hard to believe that I have plans? Well, that's too bad, isn't it? You will just have to find someone else to take it on. I'm not. Anyway, I'm hanging up now. If you call me again, this phone is getting a hole burnt into it. I'm serious. Ray hangs up and places his phone back in his pocket. He turns to me, smiling kindly. Sorry about that. Should we head up? He picks up the bag again before I'm able to. I have a feeling this man is probably a binary star. I just have a distinct feeling. As he takes his first step. Boom! The sound of a large explosion is heard in the distance. The ground shakes with the force of the blow. Ray sighs in a frustrated manner. God damn it. Ray's phone buzzes once more and he picks it up. Just two? Fine, I'm on my way, but you owe me. After hanging up, Ray turns to me. Sorry, Lion. Looks like I just can't escape work today. He gives a smile so disappointed that I can't help but to feel bad for him. It's okay. Maybe next time? Definitely next time. He picks up the grocery bags again. Yeah, don't worry about it. If your work is about that, I pointed to the giant cloud of black smoke in the distance. It's probably more important than my dumb groceries. Ray gives a slow smile, handing me the grocery bag. His eyes linger on my face as his hands brush mine slowly. Nothing more important than your dumb groceries. Yeah, I'll pay you back next time, okay? He runs his hand over mine before pulling back. The small motion makes my heart flutter. Something fierce. Okay, thanks again for your help, Ray. He smiles. Anytime, Star. Star? He turns and walks away, giving a short wave as he goes. I put the groceries away and collapse on my bed. It was only around 4 p.m., but it felt like it was such a long day already. I can't help but to drift away into a short nap. I'm awakened with a start. A light drop makes me shiver. I see that the window is cracked open. How do I keep forgetting to close this? I shut it once again. I sigh, looking up at the clock. Only 10 more minutes before work ends. It was almost 5 p.m. The usual crowd had completely died off at this point. 8 more minutes. Excuse me. Hello? I look up. Why does someone always appear literally right before the end of my shift? I groan internally. Hey, what can I get you today? Yeah, sorry. The customer gives a short, incredulous laugh. Do you not recognize me? Yeah, I'm sorry? Yeah, I don't understand. The hero of fire, Blaze, is right in front of you. And you don't recognize him. I blink, unsure of what to say. Yeah, of course. You're just playing cool and mysterious to get me all interested in you, right? Are you telling me I can rizz up more than one superhero in this game? Because if I can, that's amazing. He brushes his hair with his hand, giving a laugh. Well, don't worry, sweetheart. I'm already there. He points a finger between myself and him, winking at me. Same page. Okay, so do you want coffee or... The man waves a hand dismissively. We'll get to that in a moment, but first... Does a blonde, tired-looking man come in here often? I give a confused look. There are a lot of tired people that come in here. It's a cafe. He has hair about here. The man waves his hand around his neckline. And his eyes are really dead, like 1,000-yard stare most of the time. Are you talking about Ray? Yeah, wow, first name basis, huh? Lucky guy. I glance at the clock. Yeah, I should have been off work 5 minutes at this point. Yeah, I attempt to speed things up. So, no coffee then? Yeah, I don't blame you for going all that, but... He smiles. Yeah, I feel like I could give you a bet. My god, this is why I have a prejudice against superheroes, even though, yes, I would smash. At this point, I am utterly confused. Look, sir, I don't even know your name. Blaze! I meant your real name. It's Luke. Nice to meet you. So, as I was saying, I'm parked out front. It's the convertible. He points at a flashy red car sitting diagonally across 2 disabled parking lots. My god, he is a complete butthole. How about we get out of here? Just us. He winks and I smile harder to keep my face from cringing. This guy is really layering it on thick. Not to sound too full of myself, but you'll be lucky to be with a guy like me. Not sure if you noticed, but I'm a hero. He starts to look upset, mostly due to his passes not being received with the enthusiasm that I expected. I need to clock out, so do you want to order anything? The man sucks his teeth, leaning up against the counter. Look, you seem a bit dense, so I'll spell it out for you. Luke leans in, his cologne enveloping me. This may be hard to believe, but I'm the hero Blaze. Yes, you mentioned that a few times now, Blaze. I can feel the customer service politeness leaving my body. He gives a leering smile. Now don't start freaking out when I say this. I don't want the whole world to know I'm here. But let's just say I'm interested. I blink, unable to stop the words from spilling from my mouth. Kindly screw off. Please, I'm not interested. Whatever you're trying to do, I'm not interested. Luke, I'm just trying to work my job. I have to clock out as of... I glanced at the clock. 10 minutes ago. Okay, so go clock out and we can head out together. That's not happening. Sorry, you don't want to leave with me? Don't worry, darling. I'll take you to dinner first. He eyes me up and down. You look starving. The frick? Absolutely not. Luke looks visibly irritated. Fine. You just lost a chance that every civilian wants. I was gonna light your life on fire. Have fun with your golden boy. A hero from the stars? Yeah, right. Ask Ray how he got his abilities. Luke grins a smile full of malice. Hope you know what you're getting yourself into, lion. He gives a cold laugh. That guy is no hero. Luke angrily takes his leave, muttering some words under his breath on his way out. I sigh, exhausted. Wow, what was that about? I look over my shoulder at Hals, who appeared behind me with a croissant in hand. Honestly, I have no idea. He said he was a hero and accused that new regular Ray of some ridiculous stuff. What kind of stuff? Yeah, of him being a hero or something. Which one? The star one? Binary star? Yeah. Hal chews on a croissant and thought, weird. The guy seemed like a total be-nice. Maybe he was hopped up on some new designer drugs or something. Unfortunately, I got a vibe that was just his default personality. He was really laying it on you, though. Good thing Miles wasn't around. He would have flipped out. Probably would have scared Blaze away with his enthusiasm. Damn, Miles could have saved the day. Could you imagine Miles cornering Blaze to show him hundreds of pictures of his collectibles? That hero would be so creeped out. Who knows? He seems self-obsessed enough to probably enjoy it. I'm sure he has his own collection too. I could totally see that. Yeah, I know. We should probably implement a no weirdos policy. Oh, why does she look so cute? What the heck? Haley leans up against the counter next to me. They laugh. It is a refreshing sound, like bells in the summer. Yeah, but then Miles wouldn't be able to work. Hey, I heard that! Haley and I chuckled at the far-off sound of Miles' voice. You are allowed to turn away customers, you know. I tried. They give me a reassuring pat on the shoulder. Just call me next time. I'll kick his butt out of here. I gasp in a fake shock. To a hero? Isn't that like a crime or something? Haley smiles deviously. Maybe Elkey's carved for good measure. They say 2 crimes are better than 1. Wow, Hals. Loving their determination. If only that was reflected in your management style. We laugh a bit between the two of us. Yeah, I have only known Hals for about 3 months now, but we have become so close. They always know the right thing to say to cheer me up. Anyways, I should probably head out. Hey, before you go. Haley bites their lips, debating. After a couple of seconds pass, they speak up. That guy you said, his name was Ray? Yeah, I actually ran into him the other day, and he helped me carry my groceries home. Well, look, I kinda get a bad feeling from the guy. What about him? Hals rubs the back of their neck, looking away. I guess it's just a feeling. Like, kind of a bad one. Something doesn't feel genuine with him. Okay, well, thanks for letting me know. Maybe just keep an eye out for anything that's off. I haven't seen anything weird yet. Oh, hi, Ray! What's weird? I feel like I almost had a heart attack. Ray somehow walked up without me even noticing. Yeah, nothing weird. We just had some, coffee lids go missing recently. Oh, is that right? Ray stares directly at Haley, who levels a glare right back at him. He shoots me a quick smile. Sorry, I don't think I met your friend yet. Yeah, this is Haley. Oh, coworker? Friend. Haley cuts in quickly. Sorry for interrupting the conversation. Yeah, I'm just looking to get on the usual before heading to work. It's almost 5 p.m. and you're just starting to work for the day? Yeah, that's strange. What do you do for work? Law enforcement. Ray responds without missing a beat. A tense silence falls between the three of us. Yeah, I don't quite understand what is going on, but I feel uncomfortable. Haley, what do you do for work? What do you mean? I'm obviously at work right now. This is your only job? Last time I checked, yeah. Huh, sorry. It just looks so familiar. I just can't put my finger on it. Are you telling me that Haley has a deep, dark secret too? I would like to know what it is. Haley looks genuinely annoyed. I could see them bite their cheek. Probably keep themselves from saying anything too unprofessional. You must be thinking of someone else. Haley straightens out. Ray smiles, but there were no friendliness to it. Maybe you're right. Haley smiles back with an equal amount of spite. You know, we had a celebrity visit. You just missed it. He was a hero too. This place is quite popular lately. Ray's face falls into a frown. Haley looks at me for a second. I can't imagine why. It's not like we have some kind of hero discount or something. Ray's lips pull tight and he narrows his eyes. Is that right? Haley picks at their nails, seemingly uninterested. Yeah, what was his name again? Flame? Blade? Blaze. Ray mumbles under his breath. Right, that was it. He suddenly looks at me and gives me a smile. Looks like I overstayed my welcome. I should probably head to work before my new phone blows up. Ray glances at Haley. Thanks. Here's some coffee before you go. Ray already begins to leave. Yeah, I should grab him some coffee before he goes. Oh, Ray! I jog past Haley in a rush and grab onto his sleeve. He turns to me, looking a bit surprised. Yeah? I smile at him. Wait, for one more second. I jog off to the coffee, grabbing him a fresh cup of black coffee. I hope work goes quickly for you. I hand him the cup. Ray smiles softly. Thanks, Star. He reaches his hand out as if he wanted to touch my head, but then pauses and pulls back. Yeah, I'll catch you around. Come back soon. Of course. He gives a little wink before turning and heading out. Haley gives me a long look from beside the coffee bar counter. Is there something wrong? Haley opens their mouth, about to say something, but settles on a shake of the head. Nah. Haley, sensing my skepticism, gives a reassuring smile. Did I tell you? Remember the action figure that Miles was trying to get? The $8,000 one? Yeah, so apparently he went and cried for money from each of his friends, but was still $20 short. Long story short, guess who shares the same shoe size as Miles? Haley gives her a triumphant look, placing one of their long legs forward. Sitting on their feet were a used pair of Leon sneakers, worth every penny. Can you believe Miles and I are in the exact same shoe size? Didn't Miles come in wearing those shoes today? Where are your shoes? It's Miles. Miles can rock a black heeled boot. I think it's giving him more confidence. A loud crash can be heard from the storage room. He's still getting the hang of it though. Yeah, after chatting with Haley for a bit longer, I finally take my leave and head home. Ooh. The next day, I get to work at 9 a.m. for a later shift. Yeah, after clocking in, I start restocking some pastries. Nah, dude, I'm telling you, Blaze is going rogue or something. Why else would Binary do that? Blaze totally is going full anti-hero. Haley groans as they approach with Miles in tow as he chats their ears off. Miles, for the last time, anti-heroes don't exist. They do exist. They could though. No, they can't. It's illegal to be doing any hero activities without proper government approval. And that is especially so for some rogue anti-hero type activities. Miles turns to me next. Okay, Lion, so listen to this. Lion doesn't want to listen, Miles. What's going on? Looks like Lion does want to listen. Miles smirks smugly at Haley, who just rolls their eyes at him. You didn't see the news? Or like go on any social media yesterday or today? Not really. I accidentally slept in and was in a rush this morning. I practically ran here. Dude, you gotta check this out. Miles is already tapping on his phone. He suddenly turns the screen towards me and I look closely. At first, it's kind of hard to understand what is going on. But on closer inspection, it seems as if a hero is throwing another hero off a building. Is it a joke? I don't really get it. Miles fast forwards the video a bit. Okay, look, there's the close-up here. The video shows two heroes talking and suddenly one tries to kick the other. The hero who was on the receiving end of the kick grabs the other hero by the ankle and holds them over the ledge of the tall building. The hero lets go, but the other hero stays suspended in the air. They continue to converse. However, are they floating like that? Wait, how are they floating like that? One of Binary's abilities is telekinesis. You didn't know that? Miles coughs as if it's the most obvious thing in the world. After a minute or so, the heroes seem finished talking. Binary Star turns and starts to walk away. And the other hero plummets towards the ground. Miles shuts off the video. Oh my god. Don't worry too much. The guy is fine. Yeah, and get this! Before Binary grabbed his leg, Blaze said, "What are you going to do? Stop me?" And then Binary grabbed him and just dropped him off the side of the freaking building. So badass. That wasn't the only audio that was cut. Wait, was that the only audio that was cut? Yep. So netizens are going crazy trying to figure out what it was all about. Binary Star is squeaky clean. He's never done anything like this. So it has to be something about Blaze going rogue. Why else would Binary Star do that to Blaze? A hero that was previously his sidekick for 3 years. I doubt that going rogue. I really doubt that going rogue thing. Yeah, I think the more squeaky clean a hero seems, the more skeletons they are probably hiding in their closet. Don't be so envious, Hal. Looks bad on you. Miles just laughs despite Hal's potent glare. What do you think, Lion? Definitely some skeletons. Honestly, I just don't care. I don't care whatsoever. To be honest, I just can't be bothered to care that much. Heroes can do whatever they want. It's not like any of us can influence that, skeletons or not. If Blaze does go rogue, anti-hero, whatever, the government will definitely crack down on it. So I guess this doesn't really pertain to me in any way. I'm just one civilian, so I don't care much. You're wrong, Lion. It does pertain to you. What do you mean? You might not think that the heroes affect you, but that's wrong. They affect all of us, whether we like it or not. Good point. Good point. I open my mouth to retort. I can't find any proper response. Haley had a point. No matter where you look, posters of heroes are around, watching. People strive and work within this binary of good and evil that has been permeated by the concept of heroes and villains. Heroes are so ingrained in our society at this point, and I don't think any of us can even imagine a world without them, even if we want to. I don't see how the whole hero thing affects me personally. I can understand what you mean. I guess I mean to say that. I just wish it didn't pertain to me. Yeah, same. You just gotta watch out for yourself first and foremost. I chuckle. I know Hal. I think better than anyone. Haley quirks an eyebrow. Before they can talk, I cut them off. Don't worry about it. I laugh awkwardly, changing the subject. So I think we are running low on straws again. Good! Save the turtles, baby! They are made of cardboard, Miles. Oh! Then save the trees, bae! Ugh, I've had enough of you people. Haley jokingly exclaims, walking off towards the back door. I glance up at the clock. It's about time for a hell smoke break, so I can't say I'm surprised they took this opportunity to ditch us. You're killing your lungs! I shout to Haley's retreating form. We are all dying anyway. Haley waves their cigarette of choice, disappearing into the back. A couple of hours drift by. The sound of clanking mugs and patrons quietly conversing amongst themselves could be almost comforting. If I wasn't so damn tired. Haley walks up to the register. So, I have to head out early. You cool to close by yourself? Yeah, no problem. I feel like I've done it a billion times at this point. Haley shoots a slightly worried look, but covers it with a smile. Make sure to call me if anything weird is happening, okay? I'll be fine. Stop worrying, Alice. Haley sighs. Yeah, I'm never not going to be worried about you, Lion. I'm not as helpless as you think I am, Hal. Haley smiles. I know it. I'm always gonna worry no matter what, though. Yeah, no, go clock out. I'll take Miles with me. Huh? Miles already left? Haley groans. Let me guess. Did you say it was time for his grandma's physical therapy? I can't help but to cringe, which makes Haley rub the temple. Miles doesn't have a grandmother. I honestly should have seen this coming. Haley sighs. It's not your fault, Lion. Sorry. Nah, don't worry about it. Miles will be hearing from me tomorrow. I grimace. I feel a little bad for Miles considering how much Haley is glowering up a storm currently. Haley takes her leave. After an hour, I start to close up the store. Noticing that we are a bit low in cups, I grab some from the back to restock. While I'm restocking the coffee bar shelves, I heard the door chime. Sorry, we're closed. I turn towards the sound of the door. Don't be like that, honey. Oh no! It's my ex! My blood runs cold. I whip around and he comes into view. I start to sweat. What? Why would I break away? Then again, I had several reasons to break up with this man. Like, he's horrifying, but he's hot. He's so hot. Why do you have to be terrible? Frick. Wait, then again, I am a villain, so would it be fine for me to date him? I want you back, darling. I start to sweat. My heart pounds. I thought this place treated their customers like family. I would say we are closer than family, though. Wouldn't you agree, silly juice? He leans on the counter, and I take a step back instinctively. Maybe you could make me a cappuccino. You know, for old time's sake. My hands shook, and I couldn't seem to get a grip. How did you find me? Oh dear, silly juice. You think you could hide from me? He laughs, brushing a hand through his hair. I didn't think you were so stupid. I came to get you. I instinctively backed up to bring you back. My eyes shot around, scanning for anything I could use as a weapon. Double stares down at me, his eyes emptier than ever. He watches me like a possessed man, no emotions to be found like a shell. You look scared, silly juice. I am unable to answer. Don't worry. For now, I'm just here to see you. Double walks behind the counter and makes himself a cup of coffee. Every now and then, he shoots a glance in my direction. I'm unable to make eye contact with him. I can't run. My legs feeling stuck in place. Why are you doing this? Just leave me alone. I don't know what's the safe option. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, Double? He approaches quickly, making me back up into the counter. What have I done to deserve this? My once courageous voice ends with a squeak. You. Everything is always about you, isn't it, Lion? It's no wonder our relationship went to shit. Has it ever occurred to you why I'm doing this? It's simply because I want to. No? Of course not. You are a selfish little prick. But I like you, silly juice. So I'm giving you a second chance. He stares down at my terrified form. His eyes rake over my body, lingering on my neck. I'll take my leave. He grabs his cup of coffee and saunters towards the door. Double pauses, looking back. But remember, next time, I'm taking you with me. My stomach drops. As soon as Double leaves, I run and lock the door. My legs collapse and I hit the floor. How did he find me? They covered all my tracks. There's no way. This can't be happening to me. Thoughts pummel violently through my mind, one after the other. Where did I go wrong? It takes me a fair while to recover. I spend countless minutes on the cold, hard floor before feelings return to my legs. I finish the rest of the closing activities between bouts of pure panic and sluggish exhaustion. The sun has already set, shifting the angry red glow to a cast of dark blue and city lights. I drag my feet back home, slowly making my way through the city. My head hurts, and I feel exhausted. After crossing the threshold of my small apartment, I flop onto the floor, my energy completely depleted. I am too tired, physically and emotionally, to even be worried if my apartment is still safe. After an hour on the floor, I find the energy to drive myself to bed. I'll escape again the day after tomorrow. Despite it being my day off, I head towards the familiar view of the cafe. My heart wrenched at the thought of leaving this job. Sure, it wasn't the best job, but it was a life of normalcy for me. I truly didn't know how much I missed that. I walk into the cafe, waiting Crescent for what felt like truly to be the last time. In my hands, I held my resignation letter. My steps feel heavy. Haley, upon seeing me, can sense that something isn't quite right. Lion? Isn't it your day off? Haley glances at the envelope in my hands, a deep frown appearing on their face. Is this about Miles? If it did something, it's not about Miles. Haley's face sinks when they think about what else could have prompted me to quit. It isn't about you either, Hals. I bite my lip, my stomach swirling. This was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I just need to quit. Haley's facial expression looks a little hurt. I glanced down at the envelope, holding it up. I'm sorry to do this. If you want time off. No. I just need to get away. But I can't say that. I wouldn't dare pull Haley into this mess. I need to get some fresh air. Haley has trouble making eye contact. Their face is more stoic than ever, but I knew them well enough to see the flashes of hurt that swims across the expression. There's nothing I can say, huh? No. Silence drifts between us, and I hand them the envelope. I desperately want to say sorry, but it dies on my tongue before it could even surface my lips. It's okay. Haley whispers. They force a smile. I'm sure it's for a good reason, Lion. I force a smile, unsure of what to say. Sorry, I'm just being selfish. Do what's best for you, Lion. Maybe someday, when whatever you're running from is over, you can come back. How do you know I'm running from something? Yeah, I've looked in a mirror before, Lion. It didn't feel appropriate to ask any further, so I just hand them the envelope. I'm guessing you aren't finishing out on the week. I shake my head. Sorry. Thought so. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Your last paycheck will be in next week. Haley pulls me into a hug. They pull back, looking at me warmly. Haley forces a smile despite the sadness that swims under the surface. Well, stay safe, Ed. Wish you all the best, Lion. If you need anything, and I mean anything, you have my number. I nod, unable to speak as a lump swells in my throat. You will be great wherever you end up. I know it. Everything will be okay. I promise. Thanks, Hals. Haley ruffles my hair, turning away. I'm gonna go file this and take a smoke. They look over their shoulder. Bye, Lion. Bye, Hal. I walk out of the store, looking back at it one last time. I decide to take the long way home to be alone with my thoughts. As I walk, I notice a magazine left on a bench. The wind picks up and it flies onto the ground. I pick it up to recycle it, the wind only becoming more intense. As I am walking back home, my eye glances at the magazine. Familiarity catching my eye. Binary Star. What? Binary Star adorns the cover, splayed across like a Greek god. I did not need my eyes to be assaulted with his hotness. What the frick? I will shine against any darkness inside the dazzling world of Binary Star. New city, new ways to shine. Exclusive interview with Binary Star. I guess that Luke guy was onto something. Ray really does look similar to Binary Star. It can't be, because like Binary Star's like facial features are like they're so much more chiseled. Well, not chiseled per se, but like Ray is a lot more raggedy, unless of course that he goes through like some sort of transformation to become Binary Star. God, they could be cousins if Ray had those red eyes. They could even be brothers. Binary Star's bright red eyes were unsettling to me, no matter how hard his smile shined. I couldn't deny that the cover was attractive, though. I glanced at the headline. Inside the dazzling world of Binary Star. Curiosity gets the better of me, and I flipped to the interview. From Binary Star's time fighting the world for peace to its new city, our favorite hero tells us everything. Everyone's favorite hero has moved home base and is more popular than ever. From posing for the newest names in vogue to defending the cities from alien attacks, Binary Star's brilliance never seems to fade. Today, we had the chance to sit down and talk one-on-one with our favorite hero from the stars. Despite being everyone's favorite hero, you seem to have been taking on a new look recently. This new dangerous and, dare I say, sexy look is driving fans wild. Can you tell us what inspired this change? Binary Star. Binary Star gives a polite laugh. Well, I wanted to show a new side of myself to the fans. I want people to understand that us heroes aren't just robots, we are humans too. I enjoy my time off. I drink black coffee almost every morning. I have even been thinking of adopting a cat. I find happiness in love things that others may call boring. I just call them normal. I'd say your newest cover on Hero Fair is anything but normal. First, your dangerous stunt with Blaze, now this cover? Fans are saying that you were taking on a more sexy and edgy look to appeal to a more mature crowd. The current theory stands that it has been a while since you have been seen with a partner. Perhaps spring is upon our favorite hero? I'm lucky to have such dedicated fans that care for my well-being. I hope that my fans can see that I'm someone with depth, someone with emotion and edge. Binary Star gives a coy smile. Also, I can't say that my change wasn't inspired by a special someone. Huh? Suddenly, the ground begins to shake. What? Is that an earthquake happening? My footing becomes uneven as the ground is jolted in every which way. I hear a scream in the distance. Suddenly, smoke rushes, encapsulating everything. I attempt to run, but could only get so far before giant, unearthly black shadows take form. It dawned on me what was happening. Some ungodly monster was attacking the city. The aliens, horrible creatures that destroy everything they touch. Suddenly, I think of Miles and Haley and my heart jumps into my throat. I have to help them. I sprint back towards the cafe in pure panic, knowing that it will take me closer to where the monster roams. When I get there, the cafe is already half collapsed. No! My heart is beating out of my chest. I swivel my head desperately. All I can see is smoke. Screams surround me, no matter where I turn, the smoke only becoming thicker. Haley! I scream. Miles! I continue to scream and sprint and search for my coworkers. Suddenly, I feel a vibration in my pocket. The caller ID read Haley, and I scramble to pick it up. The minute I accept the call, Haley is talking at breakneck speeds. Lion, listen to me! Don't come to the cafe or the West District! Are you okay? Where are you? Miles and I are safe. The minute I felt something was wrong, we hightailed it out just in time. Where are you? The ground shakes so violently that my phone drops onto the ground. I crouch down to find it. Smoke fills my lungs, burning them. As I am crouched down, the ground starts to shake with increasing violence. So much so that I am unable to get up. I look up. A dark shadow lurks near me. I can't help but to stare at the horrific creature. Alien, destructive, death. My body shakes at the sight. I crawl behind a displaced facade. It lurks closer. What is that thing? I try to stop myself from shaking, but it's futile. As a giant form lurks near me, I cover my mouth to keep myself from screaming. It pauses. A scream further away caught its attention. The ungodly creature lumbered towards the sound, crushing and destroying as it went. I tried to get up, to run, to save myself, but my knees faltered, plummeting me back towards the ground. Excuse me. I hear a voice behind me and turn around. Binary Star! Do you need help? I look up to see a hand reaching up towards me. A hand connected to the body of the hero I saw in a magazine not 30 minutes prior. Binary Star! He smiles. Yes? Before I can stop myself, I blurt out my first thought. You look different in person. He seems unsure of what to say, but but flashes a dazzling smile. Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. Sorry, I didn't mean it as an insult. I could hear screaming in the distance. I look past the hero and see someone being picked up by a large creature. Maybe you should help them instead? His gaze doesn't falter from me. My sidekick will take care of it. Okay. Let me help you up. I take his hand and the hero helps me to my feet. I lean on him for a bit as my legs were still wobbly. You don't seem like you'll be able to walk. Before I can protest, the hero lifts me, bridal style, with ease. Also, he looks His eyes are dread. Also, he looks really... And I really mean, like, he looks very off-putting. Like, goddamn, those eyes are dead. Those eyes are even more dead. Looks like I have to airlift you out. Wait, Binary, Mr. Star. There are other people that probably need your help more. My legs are probably fine now. I can just run away. He glances down at me and does not answer. The uncharacteristic expression disappears as quickly as it grazes his face. We lift into the air, traveling at fast speeds, his red cape flowing behind him. After a few minutes, Binary Star lowers me to the ground. There we go. How are you feeling? Confused? Overwhelmed? Even more confused considering this is probably my neighborhood? He hovers close, glancing around my form. Are you hurt at all? No, I'm fine, I think. A silence drifts between us. Thank you for your help, Mr. Star. He smiles brightly. No problem at all. Another small silence drifts between us. I clear my throat awkwardly. I suppose I should leave then. I blink. His tone made it feel like a trick question. Yeah, I'm not sure how much heroing you'll need to do here. This far away seems pretty safe aside from the smoke. Once the aliens are gone, the smoke will clear up. Just stay inside and try not to breathe too much of it in. I look around and stare at the surroundings for the first time since we landed. This area looks really familiar. What's your name? I'd love to take you out to... Oh, it's my neighborhood. Yeah, my apartment's right there. That's so lucky. I don't have to call a cab to get home. Binary Star looked a bit awestruck. I cringed, realizing that I just interrupted him. Yeah, sorry, what were you saying? It's nothing. Well, I should probably go inside and not distract you from hero duties. Unless, of course, you want to give me the super smash. I mean, heck, I won't mind it. Do you want to give me, like, the superhero welcome? Like, God, like, I would love you to use your Binary Star pound. Thanks again, Mrs. Star. I give a small wave goodbye while walking towards my apartment. I am so sorry. Please, like, God. Oh, no. I enter into my apartment, tossing my stuff over the counter. I sent Haley a text, let him know I made it home safe. Switching on the TV, I flip onto the news station. On the news, show flashes of light and colors as the heroes battle the long-legged aliens. The street signs of the cafe flies across the screen, slamming into one of the creatures. It suddenly occurs to me that Ray could have been in the area. Are you serious? How dense are you? Like, at this point, it's pretty much confirmed that Binary Star is Ray. God, and you're telling me that you are famous among the villains? God, am I dense? But what if Ray isn't Binary Star? Could be a coincidence. I don't know. I scramble to grab my phone. The phone rings a bit and goes to voicemail. Hi Ray, this is... The phone begins to vibrate in my hand. It's Ray calling me back. I quickly answer. Hi. Hey Lion, you called? Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard the news, but stay out of West District today. There is silence on the other line, and I thought I heard a scream. Ray? Yeah, oh, sorry, I must have spaced out. I heard the news. I'll be sure to stay out of West District. A large crash resounds in the background of the call. Is everything okay? Yeah, why? I just thought I heard something. Is that so? Yeah, it was like... I glanced up at a news program. On the live screen in the background of the news report showed National Hero Binary Star talking on himself. Hello, Lion? Binary Star's mouth movement lined up perfectly with Ray's voice through the screen. My mind couldn't believe what I was seeing. Hi. Are you doing okay? You seem kind of off. The movements on Binary Star's mouth matched up perfectly with Ray's voice in my phone. Yeah! Out of shock, I hurled my phone across the room. It slammed into the wall, the screen going black. I see Ray's mouth my name on the TV program, first confused, then concerned. Ray mouths my name one more time into the phone. He then puts his cell phone into his pocket. Half a second later, a cloud of dust remained from where he once stood. Some part of me knew it would only be a matter of minutes until he was at my door. I grabbed my jacket and keys, running outside as fast as I can. My heart was beating a million miles a minute, and I knew I needed space for my thoughts to process what I just discovered. I sprinted for my apartment building. Once I knew I was in the clear, my gait slowed. Let's just think. My heart pounded in my chest as I awaked the lonely residential streets. National hero Binary Star is without a doubt Ray, a guy who only orders black coffee and always looks tired. He just seemed nothing alike. Tell me about it. Like, Ray looked nothing like Binary Star, and I'm sorry to wonder where his powers came from. I can't deny that Binary's interview in a magazine had the same interests as Ray. I mumbled to myself. Binary Star is always smiling. To the people, he is a shining example of patriotism, courage, kindness. Ray, on the other hand, looked like he would willingly jump off a bridge at the slightest inconvenience. I continued to walk, making my way deeper into the suburb. Binary Star is so optimistic, charismatic. Ray seems like every sentence he utters takes a week off of his life. If I didn't see it myself, I truly wouldn't have believed it. I stopped in my tracks, a realization coming back to me. Binary Star had saved me. His eyes weren't red. His eyes were deep black, just like Ray's eyes. I buried my face into my hands and groaned. Have I really just been flirting with Binary Star this whole time? The situation is just so freaking weird. Hi, Double. How's it going? My God, you cutie. My God, could you come a little closer? My God, just a little closer. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Ray. What situation? As I looked up, I only get a glance at his face before getting knocked out God! Damn it, Ray! I would have gone with you willingly if you just asked. I soon wake up to the sound of dripping water. I glance around dreamily. Where am I? Soon I come to. This is not my apartment. I jolt awake, whipping my head around desperately. The scenery of a concrete warehouse graces my vision. Boss, Silly Juice is awake, one henchman calls. I tried to scream, but the claw gag prevented me. Classic. As if being summoned by my thoughts, Double walks up, crouching in front of me. Wakey, wakey, Silly Juice. He grabs my face, jostling it back and forth lightly. Ah, don't look so spiteful. You're going to make me feel hurt. I yank at my ties, but they are so tight that I didn't even think I could slip out of them. Double winks, as if reading my mind. Reinforced, just for you. And you think I don't know you? Let's face it, Lion. Nobody knows you better than I do. Nobody. Double pulls out a knife. My blood runs cold. So I'd like to ask you to stay put, okay? Nod, stare dividedly. I'll nod. I mean, sure. I'll just sit put. I mean, nothing wrong with just chilling here for a while longer. I nod slowly. Double's eyes squinted to a smile. Great. Glad we're on the same page. Double's ability was teleportation, an essential non-violent power by most people's standards, but Double himself is a monster. And the way he could use his ability was creatively horrific. So I'm not sure if our crew will be able to forgive you. What do you mean? I look up, noticing the 20 or so henchmen that surround Double. I spot Ripley, but he refuses to make eye contact with me. Guilt clouds his features as he stares off into space very intentionally. I felt a form of rage that I couldn't quite explain. despite the fact that Ripley has already been through what I was about to go through. Oh! You see, my men here want to rip your throat out. Do some long-lasting damage. You betrayed us, silly juice. He spits my old Elias out of his mouth as if it were the remains of a chewed-up sunflower seed. That hurt. We were a family. Closer than family. Right? All of the henchmen shout agreements. It was obvious that their rage had been worked up by a double for months at this point. And now, they wanted to get even. I tried to stop my body from shaking, but it was in vain. Double catches my feeble attempts and smiles. Evil. Intentional. Now, Night Crew. What do you think we should do to even the scales? An eye for an eye, right? What our little silly juice did to us is a betrayal that will never heal. So, I would like to encourage something that is also lasting. So our dear silly juice will never forget their betrayal of the crew. Double laughs, glancing at me. Poetic, don't you think? The henchman got eager. I see a fair amount of faces in the crowd that I haven't seen before. And some faces I used to know are gone. I can't suppress the shiver that runs down my spine at the thought of what could have possibly happened to them. So, men, what should we do to even the scales? A finger! A henchman shouts. The excitement in his tone makes my blood run cold. Ah, goddammit, are you all just yes men for double? Like, goddammit, guys! 2 fingers! Really? How am I gonna use them on double then? He needs these fingers for a good time! I fight against my own brain that so desperately wants to dissociate. Ah, silly juice. You're so popular. Looks like they want any part of you. Double laughs, genuinely enjoying my fear and the chaos. The crowd goes wild and my stomach churns violently. So, we have a conclusion then. The men cheer. He holds out his hand and the knife is replaced with a larger machete. Ripley brings the ice. Double turns to me, smiling. So here's the deal, honey. He unwraps my ties, grabbing one of my wrists and slamming my hand down on the cinder block in front of me. I'm going to cut 2 fingers off. One of them I'll be keeping for myself, as a little token of penance for what you did. The other, I'll give it back to you, all nicely wrapped up in an ice bag. I'll even let you choose which finger you want to keep. I want you to have that decision, because I love you. Then you will be free to desperately search for an ER to reattach it for you. Just like I desperately searched and searched for you. He leans back, a shallow smile on his lips. He folds my fingers, except for my index. Don't squirm so much. If I mangle it or make the cut too low, they won't be able to reattach it. He touches the cold knife to my fingers, making a small cut where he plans to aim for. My stomach twists. I attempt to look away, but his hands with the machete quickly moves to my face. He grasps my jaw, forcing my face back to its original position. No, don't you dare look away from me! From this! You have to witness the loss of something valuable, just like I did. If you close your eyes, I will take another finger for good measure. Tears begin to streak down my face. Oh, lion. Ah, it's okay. Double coos, stroke away some tears before moving back to my wrist. Don't cry, honey. This will all be over before you can blink. The tears refuse to stop as I begin to sob out of fear. I'll take care of you nicely throughout the healing process. I promise. He leans forward, placing a few kisses on my tear-stained cheeks through his mask. He then leans back with a wide smile under his mask. I shake, knowing what was coming next. He raises a large knife in what feels to be a slow motion. What do you think you're doing? Ray? I look in disbelief. Ray! I start to yell under my mouth gag. Double is going to kill him if he stays there. I panic, but my screams are stopped by the gag that wraps my mouth. Double becomes annoyed and grabs my face violently, looking at me square in the eye. I become silent at Double's stare. Ray seems to be incredibly upset. Let go! Ray glares at Double, who just laughs. He gets up, facing Ray, who steps closer. I'm sorry. Who are you? Ray just stares, the same deep glare adorning his face. Look, for your own well-being, I'd advise you to just move along. You are interrupting a pivotal moment here. Let go of Lion. Now, Double looks ticked off. Let me take Lion and go, and you and your cronies can be free to do whatever you do. Double laughs without humor. Fine. You want to stick around? Don't tell me I didn't warn you. Ray's stern voice cuts off Double. I don't think you heard me properly. I said, screw on! That is so cool! Ray's eyes flash a familiar red. A red glow like I had seen adorned posters and news program for years. Double laughs. Ugh, you've got to be kidding me. Double turns to me incredulously. This is your watchdog? Freaking binary star? Double paces, clearly frustrated. Out of everyone, this is your hero boy toy? God damn it! Ray just stands there, glowering at Double. Ray shoots a glance at my face, and his expression becomes more furious than ever. Fine, whatever. I guess I'll be the first to take down Binary Star then. Oh, this is so cool! Double throws a knife, but in a split second, it is cut down by an angry red laser. With a yell, the henchmen run towards Ray with their weapons in tow. Oh no! Oh no! Blood splatters across my body! As the henchman to the left of me is sliced cleanly in two. His blood splashes against the ground. What happens next is only what can be described as a one-sided bloodbath. The henchmen soon realized they were no competition for the top hero, Binary Star. Some attempted to flee, but that didn't stop Binary Star from slaughtering them like a child stomping a line of ants. As I sat tied up, severed body parts dropped to the ground like piñata party flavors. Organs spilled out of torsos mid-run. They splayed across the ground with splatters that made my mind go numb. Double took advantage of Binary Star being distracted with his henchmen. In a split second, Double used his ability and faced away. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. My mind was no longer living in the same moment my body was. After what felt like hours, but likely only a few minutes, the last body cracked against the floor. As the concrete floor was decorated like an abstract painting, the Binary Star approaches me. Holy frick! He hunches down with the knife he picked from the ground. With the knife, he cuts the ties from my wrist. I notice his eyes are back to black. Some part of me is thankful for it. But like a gun with a safety on, I feel as relieved as I can, knowing danger is only an impulse away. Lion, are you okay? I can see him say something at a far-off place, but my brain does not register. Lion? He brushes my cheek with his sleeve. I can feel the wet being smeared off. I exist in a different world at this point. I can't even feel my being hot or my uneven breath. I simply know that they are there without me, and that is all. I look at his face, smeared with death. He has a peculiar expression, something I can't quite place. Don't worry, we're going to get you home. As he says my name, I try to respond, but no words surface. Do you think he can get up? Like a puppet, I try to follow his words, but the minute I stand, the world spins and I plummet towards the darkness. I wake up with a start. Seeing my roof, feeling my bed sheets helps to ground me. When did I change into my pajamas? Huh? Oh, I helped. I yell in surprise, whipping my head towards the window. Binary Star smokes! I did not expect that! By the window leaned a casual Ray. He smokes a cigarette, blowing the smoke out the window. We look at each other, in silence for a minute, before he speaks up. You slept pretty deeply. You were out of it. It would probably be best if you got some more sleep. My body shakes at the memories that swarm me. Does that mean it wasn't a dream? You weren't dreaming. You just read my thoughts. Sorry, it's a bad habit. I touch my face. There's no blood on it. How? Ray grimaces and blows more smoke out the window. You don't remember taking a shower when you got back? I shake my head, slowly feeling confused. Some distant memories start to return. It will probably all come back with enough rest. Just try to take it easy for now. I try to find a proper response, but words don't formulate. I nod. Ray sighs. Can I come over then? I slowly nod again, unsure if I completely meant it. Ray pushes himself off the wall he was leaning against. He places a cigarette in the ashtray and turns towards me. He approaches me and I can't help but to flinch. He carefully sits down at the edge of my bed and I can't help but to scoot further away from him. I'm sorry for what you had to see. I didn't want you to see me like that. Seeing you act like a psycho murderer? Thank you for saving me. That was honestly a nightmare. I don't think I'm gonna get over that for like most of my life. To be honest, I'm probably at least a bit traumatized. Ray avoids eye contact. He looks uncomfortable. I'm sorry for showing you that. I just wasn't thinking. I panicked, which is new for me. It wasn't pleasant to say the least. I don't think I'm going to be able to rid my mind of that carnage for a long time. But without you, I'd be forever at the whims of Double, or I'd be dead. Even if I survive, and he took me long enough at the whims of Double, and I'd be dead either way. So thanks for saving me, Ray. Ray gives me a small, sympathetic smile. I smile back wide, trying to lighten the atmosphere. Or I guess I should say, the top hero binary star. Ray groans. Yeah, I was kinda hoping that me being binary star was something you would never piece together. I mean, it was pretty obvious from the start. You do seem completely different from your hero persona. Ray gives me a leveled look. That guy and I have nothing in common. Well, either way, I think I like Ray better than him anyways. Ray smirks. That's a first. I open my mouth to reply, but I'm cut off by a dull pain on my jaw. Ah! I rub it, realizing it's the place where Double grabbed me before. Ray comes closer. Let me see. He softly turns my face so he can see where the pain was originating from. His face falls into a deep frown. I don't think you want to look in a mirror for a couple of days. What? Are you telling me that my handsome mug is no longer handsome and or beautiful? A couple of days? I need to go grocery shopping. What? To buy more mac and cheese? No, you don't. What? It's best if you stay here. I'm about to protest, but Ray firms his voice a little. I haven't found double vision yet. My mouth strains into a tight line. Ray's voice softens. Don't worry, I'm gonna keep searching. After that bloodbath, Double has probably already ran for the hills. Ray gives an uncomfortable chuckle. Maybe, but it's good to stay vigilant. I scan his thoughts back at the warehouse, and he seems to have history with you. So it's probably best for you to stay in here, where I can protect you. Ray forces a smile. You still look so exhausted. Ray moves back to the windows, looking out at the night view of concrete buildings and urban sprawl. He pulls out another cigarette, bringing it up to his lips. Try to get some sleep. I'll keep an eye on you until I have to go to work. I soon become taken by exhaustion of the day and drift off to sleep. I wake up with the sense that I dreamt about Ray. I drowsily look around the room. Ray must have left for work already. Part of me was a little disappointed. I get up and inspect the fridge. It was pretty empty, so I settled on eating some leftovers. Throughout the day, I shift between watching TV programs, playing on my phone, and reading my book. After a few hours of being lazy, I can feel the exhaustion setting in. The sun is beginning to set. I decide to do some stretches to keep the blood flow to my legs. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. When I glance to where the noise is coming from, I notice a small black cat at my window. How did a cat get 5 stories up? I immediately open up my window and grab the cat, bringing it into the apartment. Oh my god, what are you doing in there, kitty? The cat wiggles in my arms, so I let it down into my apartment. The cat wanders around the apartment, sniffing everything its small nose can reach. I sit on the bed, watching the cat. When the cat finishes whatever rounds it was making, it stares at me curiously. Do you want to play? I dig in my closet to find the basket of cat care items that I probably should have given away ages ago. I pull out a feather toy and crouch down in front of the cat. The cat stares up at the feather toy with an unamused look. I bounce the toy up and down, but it fails to interest the cat, who just rubs its paw against its face instead. I try a few more toys, but the cat even seems amused by frustration. Eventually, the cat turns around, stretching up towards my bed. You want to get up there? I ask, carefully picking up the cat and placing it onto my bed. After sniffling around a bit, the cat lays down. It looks so comfortable, I can't help but to yawn as well. I decide to follow suit, laying down in bed, blanketed by the rare warm sun. The cat gets up and walks over to me. The cat curls up next to me, its soft warmth comforting me. How did you get here, kitty? Must be pretty agile to find your way up 5 stories. I mumble to the cat. The cat gives a soft meow, almost looking proud of its accomplishments. As I pat and talk to the cat, it purrs in response. Between the warmth of the sun and the cat curled up next to me, I soon get tired and my eyes refuse to stay open. I can't help but to fall asleep with the cat beside me. The door clicks closed and my eyes drift open. Still tired? Ray walks in with full hero attire, carrying a sizable duffel bag. His expression looks more exhausted than usual. Part of his hero outfit is ripped in different areas. I grimace at a particularly nasty slash to his side. Ray follows my eyes and covers the slash with his arm. It looks worse than it is, I promise. I get up to take a closer look, but Ray quickly takes a step back. I rushed back here to check on you, so I haven't taken a shower yet. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Nah, it's okay. I just can't guarantee I don't smell entirely horrible right now. Do you want a shower here? Huh, do you mind? I was just stopping by here to make sure you are doing okay. Yeah, I was gonna head to mine and come back here later, but I guess that would save me a trip. Yeah, feel free. There should be some fresh towels in the bathroom. I look at him. Yeah, I don't think you will fit in my clothes though. Ray drops his duffel bag on the ground. No worries, I always take extra clothing to work. Never know what's gonna happen, right? I push out the memories of the carnage from my mind. Yeah. Ray, surely sensing what I was thinking, looks somewhat awkward. He forces a smile. I'm going to... He gestures towards the bathroom. Yeah, of course. He saunters towards the bathroom. A couple of seconds later, Ray speaks through the door. Hey, Lion. Yeah? Ray, what's up? I approach the bathroom door. Do you mind helping me with something? It's nothing weird. Sure, do you want me to come in? Yeah. My god, you're hot! I open the bathroom door to see Ray hunched over the sink. The top part of his jumpsuit is off and his hair hangs partially wet. I eye the gash on his side, red and angry looking. I can't reach the top part that well. Do you mind cleaning it? Ray looks awkwardly away. You can say no if you want. Yeah, I'll just wash it in the shower water and hope it's good enough. What were you fighting? Ray grimaces. He knows what I'm getting at. A crawler. The type of alien that you saw before. Their attacks are becoming more frequent, and it was destroying the city. Okay. I walked towards Ray and grabbed a bottle of hydrogen peroxide from his hand. I cleaned the wound as thoroughly as I could. Ray doesn't even flinch at the touch of the hydrogen peroxide. He sighs. Thanks, Lion. No problem. I stand awkwardly, trying not to stare at Ray's undressed upper half. I'm gonna go take a shower now. Yeah, right. I'll get out of your hair. As I open the door, it suddenly closes by the weight behind me. I turn around and see Ray looming over my body. Ray! He stares intensely, his face coming ever so closely. He pauses just as his breath drifts across my face. Ray lifts a hand to my face, brushing his thumb across my cheek. He then holds up a small black hair that must have been sitting on my face. My face heats up. There was a cat in here earlier and... A cat? On the 5th floor? I blanch, unsure how to explain it. Maybe a neighbor let it out? The silence drifts between us. Some dark emotion shifts under Ray's eyes that I can't quite place. I glance down at the gash on Ray's side. The red is starting to bloom and run. Was I too rough? Does it hurt? Before I can process what is happening, Ray grabs my wrist, pressing it deeply into his side. I can feel the bandages grow damp with the blood under the pressure of my hand. He looks at me, completely expressionless. His dark eyes seemingly bottomless. I try to yank my hand away, but he only presses it deeper into his side, my fingers digging into the wound. Stop! I yelp, beginning to feel a bit sick by his flesh slowly being potted by my fingertips. He lets go of my wrist. I instinctively take a step back, cornered into the door. No, Lion. Nothing you can do will ever hurt me. Nothing can hurt me. This is the price I pay for protecting humanity. While you play with cats. His tone almost sounds sardonic. I wasn't really sure what he meant. I try to search his face, but it remains expressionless. Are you jealous of the cat? Is that what I'm hearing here? Ray's cool gaze, never once leaving my own. So, are you joining me then? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, what the hell? Ray reaches to the shower, turning it on. Okay, I'm not going to assume. I'm not assuming anything. You seem to take your sweet time leaving, so I assume you want to show her something. A smirk drifts across Ray's face as he starts to pull down the rest of his jumpsuit that sits loosely at his waist. Butthole. I mumble, leaving the bathroom. Ray chuckles as the door clicks shut. I can hear Ray giving a tired sigh as the shower water hits his body. Having the national hero binary star in a small apartment felt surreal. The high standards set for all heroes, past and present, currently in my shower. Not his binary star, but it's Ray. The same Ray that would stop in for black coffee, looking like he hasn't gotten an ounce of sleep for at least a week. The same Ray that would skeptically try green latte, who would carry my groceries for me. To be honest, I wasn't sure exactly how to feel. They seemed like two completely different people, yet the evidence was clearly in front of me. Who are you, binary star? The sun continues to set a brilliant red, closing in on nighttime. Soon enough, Ray steps out of the bathroom, clothed in comfy sweater and jeans as normal. Have you eaten? He glances at me while drying off his hair with a towel. I shake my head. No, I'm not too hungry. You should eat at least something. Your body has been through a lot. I'll order some food. Wow, my hero. A little smirk plays on Ray's lips. And don't you forget it, Star. What kind of food do you like? I shrug. Maybe something comforting? Ray chuckles. Catch! He tosses me his phone and leans against the wall. Yeah, whatever you want. Whatever I want, huh? Maybe I'm feeling some Wagyu and lobster. I pick up at Ray, who just smirks down at me. Are you trying to scare me? Get two. I groan. You're no fun. I fight villains all day. Little brat like you is hardly enough to push my buttons. Wow, insult, huh? Ray laughs, brushing a hand through his damp hair. Part of me wonders how Ray would react if he found out that I used to be a small-time villain. When he pushes his hair back, I notice his pierced ears. Kinda strange for a hero like you to have their ears pierced. Huh? You think so? It doesn't really fit the hero image. Yeah, I guess not. When did you get them pierced? Sometime when I was a teenager. I don't exactly remember when, to be honest. Went through a rebellious phase, huh? Something like that. They were so strict at the NAHA, it was hard not to be a poopy, rebellious teenager at least once. A lot of people get recruited into being a hero, but you were basically one from birth, huh? Yeah, I was talented like that. Did you still get to do, like, normal kid things? Ray's face falls for a half second before snapping back to its original expression. Of course, my childhood was pretty normal, even boring. Somehow, I don't get the feeling that you can be the judge of what normal things are, as I'm pretty sure lattes aren't usually green. Rude! I hold up his phone as if I will throw it. Ray chuckles. It was a joke, a joke! I glare at him, phone still in the air. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm sure you had a very normal upbringing, and turned out very normal from it. You sure about that? Because here's the thing, I know you can read minds. You know that I used to be a villain. I lower the phone and Ray sits next to me on the bed. I hand his phone back. You didn't order anything. I can just do it on my own phone. I don't want to have you spend money on me like that. Ray rolls his eyes. I'll go out and pick you something then. There's some food in the fridge. I'll just find something from there. Let me guess, he's already out the door? I get up and open the fridge, finding some fruits to snack on. Ray narrows his eyes at the small amount of food, but doesn't comment. I sit on the kitchen counter and start to eat the fruit. So, what are those alien things anyway? Ray sighs. We aren't really sure. Every couple of weeks they send one or two more. Lately it has been happening with more frequency. They are really destructive and seem to kill rather than eat or capture. So you have to be really careful if you end up being around one. Their sight isn't too good, but they have excellent hearing. Ray approaches me, looking down at me from where I sit on the counter. If you are ever in trouble, just yell for me, and no matter where I am, I will save you. His intense gaze pierces my eyes. I look away, his deathless eyes making me feel flustered. He places his hand on my face, redirecting it back towards his own. He brushes away some fruit juice I didn't realize was on my cheek. It's never boring with you around, that's for sure. I blush, embarrassed. After finishing my fruit, I throw away the container and head towards my bed, flipping on the TV. There was a special on music that has hit top charts lately. Ah, look, there's Blaze. I didn't know he was in a band. Ray sits next to me. Yeah, I don't think he's in it for the love of music though. What kind of music do you like? Ray looks at me with a smile playing on his lips. I don't know. I don't really go out of the way to listen to any specific kind of music. Whatever's on the radio is fine, I guess. Really? You give me the vibe that you would be into classic rock or something. Are you calling me old or something? That's not it! Good, because you aren't allowed to comment on my age unless you can outrun me. There is gonna come a day where I can. Ray scoffs. Not in your life, kid. Too proud. The article says my pride is what's sexy about me. You search yourself on the internet? That's embarrassing, Ray. I'd never admit to something like that. The internet? Nah, not really. Magazines. Sometimes when I see one with my name on the cover, it's hard not to be curious. Magazines? I take it back. You really are an old man. Ray's smile looks a little annoyed. You're such a little brat. I laugh. Blaze's face shows across the screen, sweating on stage while he screams into a microphone. You know, he came in to order coffee once. I vaguely remember your coworker mentioning it. I'm guessing Blaze wasn't there for the coffee. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He was very determined on taking me out to dinner. I'm not stupid enough to think that, for someone like him, an offer like that is simply a nice invitation. I get the feeling that he's the type to feel owed after taking someone out to dinner. Ray had a deep frown. His silence was a bit unnerving. I attempted to lighten the mood. Don't know how you survive with him as a sidekick. I could even survive 15 minutes around the guy. After a while, I essentially fired him, but the NAHA decided to just promote him into a hero in order to preserve my clean record. What's the NAHA? A smirk quirked on Ray's lips. North American Heroes Association. You really don't know anything about the heroes, huh? I roll my eyes. Do you want me to freak out over you? Oh my god, binary stars in my apartment! I can now die happy! Ray chuckles. If it's you, I don't even mind shaking your hand or autographing your forehead. Do people ask for that? You would be surprised what people ask for. I shudder. Ray gets up, positioning himself against the familiar wall. You should get some sleep. It's late and your body is probably still healing from the shock. Some part of me does feel nervous about Ray in my very small apartment. He smirks at me and I look away quickly, remembering that he can read my thoughts. He lights a cigarette. Get some sleep, Star. I'll watch over you until my next shift. I can't sleep alone. Try drift off to sleep. I can't sleep alone. Oh god, I'm just gonna go with I can't sleep alone because why not? Ray, I can't sleep alone. Excuse me? I'm too scared to sleep alone. So, can you sleep with me? You stare at Ray, pleadingly. Ray sighs. He puts out a cigarette and closes the window. He wasn't even done. He literally just lit his cigarette. I'm like, oh, please, Battery Star, please. Like, show me why they call you the superstar. God. He approaches the side of the bed. I have to report to the office in a few hours, so I won't be able to stay all night. Just till I fall asleep. Please, Ray. I give my biggest pleading eyes and Ray's eyes. Fine, scoot over. Ray takes off his outer sweater, making a comment about how it smelled like smoke. I scoot over, leaving room for the chronically tired-looking man. The bed dips as Ray gets in. Oh. The music, what the frick? Once in bed, he props his head up on his hand, looking down at me. He looks awkward and somewhat uncomfortable. He shifts his gaze away, avoiding eye contact. I continue to gaze at him. He pushes my face away lightly. Stop. You are so far away. I'm so cold. So cold, Mr. Hiro-sama. Oh, just kill me now. It's almost like I'm all alone. I feel like maybe I'll get scared again. Ray groans. Fine. He wraps an arm around my waist, easily pulling me closer into him. His chest feels firm and warm, padded by his sweater. So that's why you were hiding under that frumpy sweater, Mr. Ray. It's not frumpy, and don't think of things like that when you are this close to me. Hey, it's not like I asked you to read my thoughts. And my thoughts are terrifying to read at the moment. You do not want to know, Ray. It's not like I want to. It's hard not to when you are this close. Oh my god, you're so sultry, Ray. Oh my god. Exhibitionist. I laugh out loud. Ray ruffles my hair. Stop being a brat and get some sleep. I muster up all the sarcasm I can. Yes, sir. I can feel Ray's... Oh! He's twitching in his pants and he shifts slightly away from me. I shove my body closer to his. Don't play with me, Lion. You need sleep. Do you know what I need? Yes, now go to... I think part of your body knows what I need. I can feel him get increasingly harder. Lion, if you keep being a freaking tease, neither of us are going to get any sleep tonight. That is a promise. He's getting close. Ray leans in, his hot whispered breath brushing over the shell of my ear. You are so stepping on my last ounce of self-control, Lion. Ray's tone was so seeped in warning. I sigh in defeat. No, but I want his bulgy-walgy! Fine, I'll stop. Good. Ray pats my head slowly, weaving his fingers into my hair. His other arm wrapped firmly around my waist. With the comfort of Ray right next to me, I'm able to drift off into sleep. When I wake up in the next morning, Ray is nowhere to be found. I stretch and get up. I spot a note on the bedside table. I left some breakfast for you in the fridge. Please refrain from going outside. If you have to, call me first. Rest up, Lion. I'll see you again tonight. I noticed an additional note at the bottom. P.S. I didn't get a single wink of sleep thanks to somebody. I won't name names. Hey, it's not my fault, okay? Like, those tights leave little to the imagination, okay? I see everything. Like, do they not provide underwear for the Heroes Association? Do they not? I spent most of the day sitting around reading and flipping through TV. There was a special showing on Heroes. Despite Binary Star being rated top hero, there wasn't actually much information about him. His parents died when he was younger, and he was taken in by a top hero at the time, Steel Sheriff. Steel Sheriff lovingly raised him as a normal boy, also training him into the hero that we now know today. I decided to search Steel Sheriff on the internet to learn more about him. 10 reasons why Steel Sheriff is a true Golden Age hero. Steel Sheriff is reaching 60s, but even in his retirement, he isn't slowing down. All of the top results were articles. Felt very PR driven. I decided to check social media and get a better understanding of common opinion. The first result that appeared was a thread from a couple of weeks ago that amassed 120k likes. Thread: Steel Sheriff got away with everything. We should be talking about it. I click in the thread and start to read. During the golden age of heroes in the 80s, Steel Sheriff was quite popular. Now he seems to be living remotely and out of the spotlight as his name has been steeped in controversy. The thread was long, but essentially it boiled down to a gross misuse of power. Steel Sheriff had been accused of many assaults and worse. Not only that, but he seems to have been blatantly homophobic and misogynistic in the past. Man, Steel Sheriff must be rolling in his grave over the fact that Binary Star is dating this. I am a raging queer. Like, you have no idea what I'm going to be doing with your boy. After retirement, he spiraled into alcoholism and lives in a remote area of Oklahoma. Nobody sees much of him anymore, but his 60th birthday coming up has reignited feelings about him amongst the populace. I can't help but to wonder how having someone like that as a caretaker may have impacted Ray. Apparently, Ray never had any brothers or sisters, so after his parents passed, Steel Sheriff was the only one that Ray could call family. I wonder how Ray feels about him. I decided to shake the weird feeling and change the channel. It lands on the news. Across the screen shows some heroes fighting an alien. I watch a live news segment. I don't catch the familiar flash of blue, blonde, and red. I thought Ray said he had work today. I try and shrug off the suspicion. I'm sure heroes also have assignments that aren't in the public eye. While scrolling on social media, I see somebody talking about fanfiction writing tips. I wonder if Ray has fanfiction about him. I search up some fanfiction of Binary Star. Most of them were admittedly great portrayals of Binary Star that is shown in the media. I can't help to laugh at myself at the difference between the fan portrayal of Binary Star and how Ray actually acts. As the nightclub continued around them, Binary Star leaning closer, his voice becoming softer. YN, your smile has the power to ignite a light within me, a light that burns brighter than any danger I face. I have fallen deeply in love with you. YN's breath caught in her throat as she stared into Binary Star's mesmerizing red eyes. A wave of emotions washed over her, threatened to pull her to sea, and she found herself unable to form words. Instead, she expressed her feelings through a heartfelt smile that mirrored his own. YN's heart soared at his words, her eyes shining with unspoken affection. She felt a deep connection with Binary Star, one that extended beyond his heroic persona. I scrolled past a couple of chapters of the lovey-dovey stuff to find the risque parts. Binary Star looks down at me with lust draped across his ruby eyes. His formed chest heaved in lusty promises. YN, I need you more than light itself. Ever since I saw you at the club dancing your worries away, I knew I needed you desperately. I will save the world over and over just to have your body. I am cringing. Oh god. Oh god. He places a deep, needy kiss on my lips, hands following the dips and curves along my body. I can't suppress the moan. Binary Star gives me a bright smile. Don't worry, I will treat your body with care, dear Wyatt. Just like when I saved the bridge from collapsing, cause I'm the greatest hero around. I laughed out loud. I wonder if the inconsistency in character is because nobody really knows how Binary Star would react to being, excited. Every word makes me laugh as I can't help imagining Ray saying these ridiculous lines. Time flies by as I become absorbed in Binary Star fanfiction. Okay, legit though, how many Binary Star fanfictions are there? Like, I need to know how many are actually out there. The door sounds and Ray enters through my apartment door. You have to walk in. He pauses, giving me a curious look. You look like you're up to no good, Lion. He looks tired, smelling a bit like smoke. You aren't in your hero uniform. Yeah, I didn't do any frontline hero work today. Just some paperwork. I hop up, approaching him. You smell like smoke. Oh, do I? Sorry. There was a fire nearby at the office. It must have settled in my hair. Mind if I take a shower here? Sure, you know where the towels are. Thanks. Ray showers and the smell of soap fills up the apartment. I put on some music and open up the window to let some fresh air in. I think back to the news on the TV earlier today. It is a little weird that a building fire wasn't featured. Ray gets out of the shower, drying his hair off with a towel. Ray, I think I'm going to be a bit stir crazy. I don't know how much more time I'll be able to stay cooped up inside. Ray grimaces. I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just worried something will happen to you and I won't be able to find you. I was actually thinking, in the meantime, until we find Double, would you move in with me? My place is larger, so you can move around a bit more. It also has a better security, so you won't have to feel worried about staying here. I chew on my lip. I don't know. That's kinda sudden. He pats my head. I guess I was a bit sudden. Sorry. Maybe just think about it? I don't think it's very safe for you here. As long as Double is around and knows where you live, there's a chance that he can come get you at any time. And honestly, that scares me. Lion, there isn't much time. Ray's phone buzzes. Sorry, I have to take this. He picks it up, leaving my apartment. My heart can't stop pounding at his offer. What the? That was so sudden. He isn't wrong that I'm in a very worrying position, but abandoning my apartment to move in with him seems extreme. After half an hour or so on the phone, I could hear the front door close. Ray returns inside. Sorry, some work stuff. No worries. Have you eaten yet? I shake my head. Not yet. Can I make you something? What? You don't have to cook you don't have to cook me a meal in my own apartment. I don't mind. He walks towards the small kitchenette. To be honest, I enjoy cooking. I don't get a lot of opportunities to cook for someone else. So, I like to, if that's okay with you. Yeah, I guess so. I just feel bad. I should be cooking for you. Ray gives me a little smirk. Yeah, I'm not sure if I trust your cooking. You act like I'd poison you. I'm impervious to poison, so you wouldn't do any damage to me with that method. You say that as if I can do damage to you in other ways. Ray just smiles as he starts to chop up some vegetables. I watch him in the kitchen as my music plays in the background. He was surprisingly skilled at cooking. Soon enough, dinner was made and I sit down at the table with Ray. The veggie pasta smells delicious. Wow, Ray. He looks proud of his work. Dive in. I mumble a thanks for the meal and start eating. Whoa. Ray laughs. The pasta was incredibly good. If you have any preferences, let me know. I can cook just about anything. This is so good. I'd be happy with this again. Noted. I made quick work of dinner, not realizing how hungry I got. After dinner, I tried to do the dishes, but Ray ended up helping anyways. It was a strange feeling living together, even though we technically weren't. When cleanup was done, we sat and chatted about various things. My place has a pretty large kitchen, and it does feel like a shame not to use it. So I try to make the most of it. I level a look at Ray. What? I'm still surprised you can cook so well. I have other skills aside of saving citizens in distress, you know. I read about some of your skills earlier today. I joke. Ray gives me a skeptical look. Is that right? I pick up my phone and click on the random Binary Star fanfiction I was reading earlier. When Binary Star looked at you from across the club with his ruby red eyes, you felt undressed on the spot. Why am I reading him fanfiction? He grabs your hand, taking you to a quieter hallway where he pushes you against the wall, his plush lips encapsulating your own. Binary Star pulls back, heat in his eyes. Heroes have to blow off some steam too. And you look like just the citizen to help, he whispers huskily. What? Ray walks over, standing over me. I hand him my phone and he starts to look, his eyes widening at the increasingly graphic nature of the fanfiction. My lord. Wow, Ray. Pretty bold of you. In public. At a nightclub too. Ray glances up from the phone with a skeptical look. Did you write this? No, I swear it's not me. It's just fanfiction. There are thousands of these. A smirk appears on Ray's lips. He leans, towering over me closer. Is this the kind of stuff you like, Lion? A dangerous smile stretches across his face. I will not confirm or deny. Do you want me to drag you to the back of a club? And take you? All for myself? While covering your mouth so others don't hear as you desperately moan my name? Which one? Do I go like Ray or do I go like, oh my stars? Oh no. Oh god. Fun fact, I still live with family, so they're just hearing me scream, oh my stars from downstairs, and it's hilarious. My teasing has fully backfired. Ray gives me a look of warning. My face heats up and I scoot back as I'm sure he can hear my heartbeat from where I sit. No, I just thought it was funny. Ray shrugs. Too bad. Let me know if you change your mind. Too bad? Ray saunters off to the window to light a cigarette per usual. I am unable to look him in the eyes and I hear him chuckle. I get up and get ready to go to sleep. I lay down in the bed, hyper aware of Ray's presence, but he stands, looking out the window. With Ray watching over me, I am able to slowly drift off to sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night. Ray's lowered voice bounces off the wall softly. Yeah, I did it. What else do you want me to say? So, what are you gonna do, actually? Let me rephrase that. What can you do? No, I'd rethink that if I were you. If you want to put me on trial, the reputation of your best hero is tarnished. You can fire me if you want. I'll gladly take the vacation. See? Nothing else you can do. What now? Well, I'd recommend you keep a leash on your other heroes. Keep them the frick away from my personal life. Frankly, I recommend that for any of you. We both know what I'm capable of, and I'm no longer satisfied with playing nice. Ray glances at me and I shut my eyes and pretend I'm asleep. I'm unsure if he saw me look at him, but he walks over and sits near me on the edge of the bed. He pats my head softly. He must have thought I was tossing and turning. After my breathing evens, he continues talking on the phone. I look forward to watching the NAHA actually do their job for once. Please, be my guest. Tell Herschel there isn't anything he can do either. Then you better contact risk management. There's nothing the NAHA can do to make me back down. I'm getting what I want, and frankly, as far as I'm concerned, everything else can burn. That's about all I have to say regarding that. Last thing, I'm gonna be late getting to work tomorrow. Ray glances at me. I've decided to sleep in. Good night. Ray hangs up the phone. He gazes down at me, his thumb tracing the features on my face. Did I wake you up? I open my eyes slowly. The moonlight blankets Ray like a halo, giving him an ethereal glimmer. I shake my head slowly. A ghost of a smirk appears on his face. You're a good liar, Lion. Is everything okay? Ray gets into bed next to me, his familiar warmth comforting. He runs his fingers down my cheek, leaning in. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll take care of everything. Go back to sleep. I nod and lay my head back down. Soon everything fades into a familiar darkness. The soft sounds of footsteps wakes me up. My eyes flutter open to the sunlight peeking through the windows. How early is it? It's 8 a.m. Yeah! Ray! I whip my head over to Ray, who stands there, looking surprised. Sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. No, it's okay. You just usually aren't here in the mornings. Ray gives a wry smile. You make me sound like a bad hookup or something. Do you want me to do the walk of shame or something? No? Though I'm sure you could do a pretty good walk of shame. Ray laughs. Wow, what do you take me for? I do have to leave for work soon, though. Do you mind if I shower here before leaving? Nah, go for it. Don't worry, I'll be out of your hair soon. He retreats into the bathroom. I eye his duffel bag that he always brings with him. I know it is a nice thing to do, but after everything that has been going on, I can hardly be blamed for being a little skeptical. I can't disregard what I saw in that warehouse. I can't disregard what was spoken about on the phone last night. I can't disregard my safety by having him be around my apartment so often without knowing if he's dangerous or not. I first poke at his duffel bag. Then I slowly open it. Inside were some changes of clothes. Just a sweatshirt and some jeans. I smell them, but nothing seems off. They smell like Ray, slightly of pine and toasted sugar. While I am digging around in his clothing, I accidentally shake loose a carton of cigarettes. I would probably need some stress relief if the whole city relied on me too. I feel something hot in a pocket. That looks like a pen I used to have. There isn't much in his duffel bag. Some clothing, a notebook, some keys, a couple of phones. I hear a bump in the shower and realize I probably don't have too much more time to snoop. Phone or notebook? Phone! I tap on one of his phones in the duffel bag. It's password protected, but I can read a couple of the newest text messages. None of the text comes from safe numbers. I expand the first message. Hey, BS, this is Miss. Got your number from Chandra. Texted you last week, but you never responded. Can you please consider talking to Herschel for me? The second message comes from the same number. Look, I know I screwed up. It won't happen again. The family took the shut up money and signed an NDA, so if you vouch for me, I promise it won't come back to bite you. While I was reading the second message from his dismissed person, a new message appeared on the screen. Need to talk about your recent performance. I have been informed of actions inappropriate by the standards of the NAHA. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. EST. Herschel. While trying to close out, I accidentally hit the reply button on the message from Herschel. I should have just closed out immediately, but part of me wanted to see what would happen if I respond. Respond with something flirty! I snickered to myself, typing up a response. I'll show you some real inappropriate actions by the standards of NAHA. Winky face! A response comes almost immediately. If that is a threat, we will not respond lightly, Herschel. Did I get him in trouble? My attempt at flirtation has flown far over Herschel's head and into dangerous territory. I become determined. And I won't respond lightly to that sexy little body of yours, Herschel. I cover my mouth to keep myself from laughing out loud as the typing indicator begins and stops multiple times. Herschel must really be confused. Finally, a text comes through. Did you drink drain cleaner? Take a gunshot to the head? Sober up. 8 a.m. tomorrow. Herschel. Herschel was certified no fun at all. I put Ray's phone away. That was probably the worst idea. Why did I do that? We are sticking with it. As I am returning everything to the duffel bag, a wallet tumbles out, flopping against the floor. A square paper slides out of the wallet as it hits the ground. I snag it off the ground, opening the wallet to put it back inside. As I flip around a small square, my hand pauses. My heart threatens to leap from my chest. On the small square that was tucked inside of the wallet was a very familiar view. One I saw when I was looking into the mirror. A view of myself around 3 years ago. It's me, in my villain outfit, petting a cat? As the shower shuts off, I am jolted back to reality. I shove the picture back inside of the wallet and bear it back into the bag, zipping it up just how it was before. I lay myself casually onto the bed, pretending to read a book that has been sitting on my nightstand for over a month at this point. A couple of minutes later of pretend reading, Ray exits the restroom. He approaches and leans against the wall where he usually does, by the window. This time, instead of smoking a cigarette, he is fully focused on me. His intense look makes me squirm. There is something distant, disconnected about his eyes. So, you were digging through my stuff or something? Going through my phone, huh? You are a nosy little thing. Kinda an invasion of privacy, don't you think? Ray cracks a smile. By the way, I don't appreciate you role-playing as me and flirting with my phone. Get chill! And then it's fine! I am not going to hear the end of that. Sorry, it was funny in the moment. You could just say it was my mistake or something. Ray's face falls. Absolutely not. It's better for both of us if they don't know you exist. Ray levels a look at me. It seems like you are unnerved by me on some level. That you don't trust me. He pushes himself off of the wall and walks towards me. So ask me whatever you want. If you ask, I'll tell you anything. What do you want to know, Lion? Why do you have photos of me? Why do you have a photo of me in your wallet? A photo from 3 years ago. Do you remember what you were doing in that photo? I try and think back. What was I doing during that time 3 years ago? My eyes widen. I was robbing a house. I look panicked at Ray. I'm not going to turn you in or anything, dummy. At that time, I was on my way to my next assignment when I saw you break into the house of Legislator Keck. I was going to quickly take care of you, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. It was an odd feeling. Before that moment, I never really had any issues getting rid of criminals. I truly believe that if someone commits a crime, they are opening themselves up to punishment. That the world was better off without them. But that day, something changed. I kept watching you run around, playing with the cat, and something in me just couldn't compute that you were a criminal. His eyes peer into mine. You had a bag of everything you came there for in hand. All the jewels, money, blackmail. So without a doubt, you were a criminal. But I couldn't get myself to dispose of you. Just because I'm the cat? So I became curious. I kept trying to predict where you would hit next, just so I could catch a glimpse at you. Sometimes I was right. Sometimes I was wrong. Stalker, and I'm starting to feel like this is showing some red flags. Ray laughs. I guess I became a little obsessed. You broke my ideals and I had to figure out why. Why didn't you say anything? I couldn't just talk to you. If you, a petty criminal, knew that you were on Binary Star's radar, you would have disappeared from the city, possibly even the country. But eventually, you disappeared anyway. By that time, I didn't realize how much of me depended on you. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. You were all I thought about. You had become my Binary Star, and without you, my balance was off. I became a zombie during my day. I could just smile and say what they wanted me to, and at night, I sought you out. I finally found you 3 weeks ago. I transferred to work in the city. I purchased a condo. I formulated the perfect plan to meet you. You were never supposed to figure out that I was Binary Star. I was hoping that you would either fall for me or Binary Star, not both. Ray sighs and rubs his forehead in frustration. I just didn't expect your old partner to also try and chase you down too. And now I know, he truly won't stop until he's 6 feet under. Ray levels an intense gaze at me. After 3 years, I came to the conclusion that you are what matters. Not crime, not justice, not criminals or villains or civilians or even Earth itself. It's you, Lion. Hey, if I matter to you, then all this should matter to you too. Heck, if all of this falls apart, heck, you won't have me. Ray levels his gaze at me so closely. I feel I could just hear his heartbeat if I focus hard enough. Lion, I promise, I will keep you safe. I may not be the perfect shining hero from the stars that everyone claims I am, but I will be your hero. Yeah, I'm not sure how to respond. Some part of me knows thank you isn't an appropriate response for the situation. Ray can sense the conflicting expressions that drift across my face. Yeah, I know that was probably a lot. I'll let you rest. He pauses as if he wants to say something, then decides just to leave with a wave. Ray gathers his stuff and exits my apartment. I'm left in silence with only my thoughts. It's obvious that Ray, or rather Battery Star, is dangerous to some extent. But when he talks about himself without the mask on, something about him just feels so lonely, distant. I sit down, thinking over the previous interaction on repeat. I spend most of the day trying to research information about Battery Star, but I can't really find anything of value. The sun is already beginning to set, and restlessness sets in. After a while, I can't help but to do something about my complicated feelings at hand. Call Haley, call Double, search some information with Battery Star. Call Haley! I decide to give Haley a call. They warned me before that Battery Star most likely had some skeletons in the closet. Maybe they knew more. Maybe they don't. But either way, Hal's comforting voice is something that I need to hear right now. The dial tone rings softly. Hello? Lion? Hey, Hal. Lion! You okay? Tried texting you, but you never responded. I was getting worried. You kinda dropped off the face of the planet there for a minute. I'm okay. You sure? You don't sound okay. I bite my lip. Everything in me wants to run, crying to Hal, but I can't be selfish. Hal essentially just lost their whole business with the chaos in the West District. The last thing I want to do is have more stress onto them. Yeah, I guess I just missed you is all. I can hear Hal suck in air suddenly. Hal? Yeah, sorry. Me too. Are you okay? I hear a familiar voice in the background. Yo, is that Lion? Let me say hi. Wait, your face is so red. That's so funny. Stone Cold, hell down bad. A large smack sound reverberates over the speakers. Miles groans in the background. So, did you call for anything specific? Not really. Remember how you mentioned that you think all heroes have skeletons in their closets? Uh-huh. The more powerful the hero, the more packed that closet's going to be. Why do you think that? If you have unlimited power, who's gonna stop you? The government will do anything to protect their assets after all. What do you think about Battery Star? Once again, there is a silence on the other end of the call. Please, Lion, listen to me closely. Run away from Battery Star. Can I even? I did some asking, some digging, and nothing good can come from being around him. He will only cause you misery and chaos. You will never know peace again if you accept him. What do you mean? The best thing you can do is run as far and fast as you can. There was another pause on the other line. I have to go. Just please, tell me you will leave tonight and run very far away. I was unable to answer, unsure what to do. Haley's tone left no questions of severity of their request. I'll find you again when you are in a safe space. The phone call cuts off suddenly. Haley probably hung up. I start to feel exhausted. Ray isn't home and it's already pretty late. I can't help but wonder if it's because of our discussion earlier. It certainly left off at an awkward note. A bit of sadness stung in my heart. Despite everything, some parts of me still trusted Ray. I get into bed, resting my body against the plush blankets. My eyes close, covering me in the familiar darkness of sleep. I dream of a peculiar dream, one where Double, Haley, and myself are all heroes. We fight to defeat the ultimate villain, Binary Star. Something feels wrong about this. I drive a sword through his chest. He erupts into planetary dust, showering glitter all over myself. I don't feel sad, yet tears swell and pour down my face. The planet heals. It's finally over. The dust falls into sparkles, and soon the earth catches fire. A wild flame licks my face and my body. I can't breathe. Help! I can't! As I dream, the smell of smoke drifts across my senses. I cough a bit, turning over. My eyes flash open as the scent of smoke permeates the area. I immediately sit up. Why is everything on fire? My whole apartment is consumed by flames. I blanch. How could I have spread this much without me waking up? I quickly stumble out of my bed. The ground is hot as flames lick the far wall. I cough and the smoke starts to get in my lungs. I can't stop coughing. This is bad. I glance around my apartment as it is doused in flames. I cough harder as I kneel over. The smoke is suffocating. I have to do something fast. Front door, window, balcony door. Yeah, balcony door. Binary star, help me! I knew things were going bad fast. I yell out his name with all the force that I can manage. Binary star, help me! Less than a moment later, a gust of fresh air bursts past me from my balcony. I look up and the shining hero stands before me. He reaches out his hands towards me, smiling kindly. He is radiant, even amongst the smoke and flame. Despite the destruction around me, I feel no semblance of fear. I'm here to save you, Lion. Without hesitation, I grab his hand, pulling myself up. I throw myself in his arms, hugging him with the remainder of the strength I had in my body. He freezes, surprised by my actions. Binary Star clears his throat and shifts his gaze to the side in a feeble attempt to hide how red his face is. After a few seconds of patting my head awkwardly, he shifts back. He squats lower, settling his forearm under my bum. Binary Star easily lifts me up, securing my back with his other hand. He steps out onto the balcony, looking at me with a coy smile. Hold on tight! Suddenly, we are flying through the starry sky, his iconic red cape trailing behind. The night air is brisk as he flies past skyscrapers and stars. Soon enough, he settles me down onto the high-up balcony in the middle of downtown. You can see the whole city from here. It's kind of the point of why they placed me here. He opens up the door and beckons me inside. My jaw drops. This is your apartment. Condo, but yeah. He smirks. Glad you like it. This is where you'll be living from now on. I have a bad feeling about this. Did he start the fire? What? Unless you want to go back to your apartment, which I wouldn't personally recommend in its current state. He walks up to me, looking down at me with a serious expression. Plus, here, I can keep you safe. I know where you are. I guess that makes sense. I promise not to impede. I'll be out of here when I get a new apartment. An indecipherable look passes across Ray's expression, and I could almost swear I heard him chuckle. He turns away, walking into the apartment. We will see about that. What do you mean? What did you say? He turns around, smiling his signature radiant smile. Nothing. Come, let me show you around your new home, Star. I couldn't help but follow him. He led me as if a gravitational pull kept us together. Part of me knew that something didn't feel entirely right. By then, I was already too enthralled by the hero. The way he shined. I couldn't help but to orbit around him. That was the ending? Anyway, that was Binary Star Hero. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I would go into the after stories, but at the same time, this episode has gone on for far too long. But if you do want to play this game for yourself, link to the creator's itch.io page is in the description below. I absolutely enjoyed this. I absolutely love the idea of a yandere superhero. I think it's a yandere superhero. I can't be too sure about that. I'll need to check it out myself. And heck, I might need to play through like some of the other routes in order to actually have a better idea of what the story is. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.